Welcome to Bangerz, the podcast formerly known as Goof Troop. I'm your host, Kyle Conway, and as always, our two other guests, our two returning guests every episode. We got Alex Davis and Cameron Hicks.
Howdy. Going for that attendance record.
Yeah.
At the end of the year.
Get a golden star.
We get the reward.
There will be certificates printed out.
Yeah.
But today...
It's only ever been us, to be clear.
To be honest, we pushed out the other two guys. Today is Valentine's Day, so we wanted to keep things intimate.
Yeah.
Keep things maybe a little hot, a little heavy. We'll see what happens. It is a hot room we're in right now.
We're trying to get the rights to Marvin Gaye's Sexual Healing.
Yeah.
So
we sent an email. They haven't answered back yet.
MarvinGaye at gmail.com.
But let's say I think my game plan I think was just sort of a relaxed format.
Yeah.
Maybe do a quick hey, what you been up to, and then we'll pull some things out of the hat. Which if you're not familiar with the hat, okay, the hat's over there.
Yeah.
It has a bunch of topics inside. We pull them out. We start talking about them. I don't know what's in them. Most of us don't know what most of those pieces of paper are, so we'll see.
Hear that, internet?
Yeah.
It's the sound of good topics.
That's a Blue Yeti audio. But yeah, let's get started. So Alex, what you been up to? What you been playing?
Not a goddamn thing.
No? You haven't done a single thing this week?
I don't even think I played Fortnite since last Wednesday. Maybe
I haven't played like 2 weeks.
One game. So really, I don't think I played a single game. And as far as the one thing I started reading Pride and Prejudice.
Wow.
Yeah, I will defend that. I won't defend it. I like Mr. Darcy is honestly one of my favorite fictional characters of all time. It's just he makes boss moves.
Austen, right?
Yeah, Jane Austen.
Yeah, I hate her so much.
Yeah.
Out of all the books they made me read, anything with Jane Austen attached to it in school, I fucking hated it. And I love reading. I hate Jane Austen. I just can't care about any of her stuff.
Pride and Prejudice was the only one that I really enjoyed. Actually, I will say it's the only Jane Austen book I've enjoyed. I think it has something to do with Keira Knightley from the movie, but I have like the movie images to kind of like get me through the story. I don't know why, but something reminded me of it the other day, and I just okay, I'll just start reading it because I think the internet at my house was down.
Probably, yeah. That's the only reason I could see on an island. That's the only book. I'm like, well, I'll use it as far later, but for now. Yeah. Have you ever seen the HBO show Girls?
No.
Okay. Does that seem like your shit?
No.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think I've seen a.
When I think of Jane Austen novels, I just think of HBO Girls and the exact same shit almost. Just rich socialites, and then they're sad about something, and let's go read about it. Yeah.
That could be good. I feel like there's in Pride and Prejudice there's a good mixture of wit in there, which I always appreciated. But again, that's the only one. I don't think I could do Sense and Sensibility or whatever the fuck it's called.
Even the names, man.
Yeah.
The names don't give me the things they carried. That could kind of get me into it. Yeah, no, Sense and Sensibilities.
Yeah. Let's see. I think I went to Disney yesterday with my extended relatives from Michigan. That was pretty fun. Got on the Jumbotron and the Laughing Floor Monsters Inc. ride.
Right on.
I get on that every time. There's just something about this that just even
cracks people up.
Yeah, no, even in the
they're laughing
in the
at you,
college,
not with
no.
Because they have to assess so much, right?
Yeah.
Because if they do live finger, I'm just like, oh, no, sorry.
Yeah. That guy seems into it. That guy's definitely going to give you the middle finger. No, it's really impressive. I don't think that there's placed people in that show. I think it's all participatory.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's all just audience participation, and there's some really just good humor in there. I'll retell the joke because I liked it so much. I won't try to recreate it. But
who's doing the show?
At this point, it was the purple monster guy.
Okay.
It wasn't Mike Wazowski, but was it Randy?
Randall.
The villain?
No. It wasn't Randall. It was some other. I think from Monsters University or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Someone could have seen that.
Yeah. So anyway, it pans in on these two people sitting next to each other. It's a boy and a girl. Hey, what are your guys' names? I'm just gonna call them Tammy and Jack. How'd you guys meet? Tammy says, we met through a friend and on Facebook. And what are you guys to each other? We're roommates. Oh, that seems good. Nothing wrong could go. How long have you known each other? a month. They're like, oh, and you're already roommates. That's gonna work out great. I can feel that. And then he's like asking her to pick a number. Like his whole gig is the telepathic monster. So he tries to read your mind, but it's really just you say your answer out loud, and he's like, bingo.
Yeah, okay. I think I know
so like that's the weak part of the joke. But the strong side was he asked her to pick a number 1 through 50, and she's thinking of her number, and then like he interrupts her and says, "Does he watch you while you're sleeping?" She's like, I don't know. And well, you wouldn't because you're sleeping. And then like it goes back to the number 1 through 50, and then it slowly like almost like in a deadpan like pans over to him while he's just kind of like looking at her.
Yeah.
And then the monster starts singing, "He sees you when you're sleeping." It was the funniest shit I've ever seen. And like, yeah, I got some legitimately good laughs out of that. So congratulations to Disney for actually having a pretty funny show. But otherwise, that was pretty much my week. Didn't do a whole lot. It's been a chaotic week in the life of Alex, I guess.
They've been pretty hardcore. Like, I don't know if you guys have you had, maybe you would have any experience with like Disney and how they employ people.
Yeah.
Like, do you have any like in terms of like in the like when you get hired in Disney, there's 3 sections that you will go into. It's either I think it's hospitality is one of them. I think they literally just call it parks for the other one. And then there's entertainment, which is probably those guys. And when you do entertainment, it's not just like a normal interview. It's like a series of auditions, depending on what you want to do.
Yeah.
So I have the feeling whoever's behind that mic's probably got pretty, like, maybe they even pull them from like an open mic somewhere. Like, hey, want to bullshit on Tuesday?
Yeah, I was in the parks.
Yeah.
The parks section of Disney. So I mean, I went through Disney University, I think.
Yeah.
But
similar. I was in hospitality.
Yeah.
Entertainment was not for me.
Yeah, definitely not entertainment material. Those were the popular kids, essentially, of Disney.
Oh, they definitely were in the orientation. Like you're all in that same group. Like, I'm gonna just play drums all the time. Like, that sounds dope. I'm gonna like move food around. So that's my thing.
Yeah.
Oh, manual labor over here.
Yeah.
They call him manual labor Larry.
I'm gonna last 4 months. Don't tell anyone.
Disney will probably get to me somehow, but for spilling some secrets here. But
company secrets.
Yeah, I did. One of the things I remember vividly from my first day, there were 2 Cinderellas like eating at the lunch table or at the Mousqueteria underground.
Oh, like underground, yeah.
Yeah, there were 2 like Cinderellas dressed up like almost in costume because they couldn't like remove all the makeup and stuff, you know.
Yeah, it's a pain.
And they were eating across from each other, and it was one of the most surreal things you've ever seen. Like, just like I imagine like if you could just like push them up like 50 feet, they would just break thousands of kids' dreams. It was like, it's kind of a cool moment, I thought.
That's definitely one of the coolest parts about working at Disney is just like, oh shit, here's the underground stuff. I can just kind of walk around.
Yeah, like Disney's built on the 2nd floor in Florida because of the flooding.
Yeah.
So essentially,
they want to kill all the workers first, like the Titanic. Yeah.
There's the windowless level for the employees.
It's in your boat. You're pushing your oar against like a frozen mini.
Get the axe off the wall. Yeah.
Yeah, it was that, and also the cafeterias were always super dope. Like $2 for like a whole like Disney like feast. That was fucking dope.
Do you feel bad that the people upstairs are like paying 15 times more than they need to for a hamburger? So you need it. So you
not
need a $2.
Not when you're there, because when you're there, you're fully bought into like Disney. At least I was.
I don't know if I was.
I was like, oh, $3.66 for that soda. That Disney literally gets all the Coke for free. Cool.
Yeah.
Buy that. Yeah.
So I was in the food service part, obviously, of hospitality.
Yeah.
So I was like a cashier, and that was kind of dope actually, because I was picking up Spanish super fast. Like I don't remember any of it though, but I was actually like on like week 2 actually having like decent conversations.
Habla izquierda.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like there's meal plans, and they're so fucking convoluted, and so like a Spanish person who doesn't know English, you just pick it up by trying to have this fucking complicated like conversation.
Like, so is this a snack? Is this
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So were you on the front end? Were you like at the menu area? Is that what you're saying? Like
I worked at the Grand Floridian, so the big Hallmark hotel, red roof, white building, and I worked at one of their less prestigious restaurants, of course. And I was just a cashier for about 2 weeks. Then I did cooking for like 2 or 3 days, and then someone approached me, one of the managers, of which I had like 5 of them.
Yeah.
And yeah, apparently that's a thing. And they're like, hey, we got a new position open up. You've been working real hard. How does stock chef sound? I'm like, oh, he's got chef on me. That sounds kind of cool. Yeah, sure, whatever. So they pair me up with this one lady who I guess was stock chef for like the last like 5-10 years or something. She's been there a while, and she looks it, which I didn't realize why until later. But she pulls me through it, and basically you're just stocking the kitchens of the Grand Floridian, of which at that time they had one person. Shit. So there's like 6 or 7 restaurants there. It's one person who's stocking all that stuff.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so you're
5 managers.
Yeah,
one person stocking.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, just so I worked at Casey's Corner. I'm not trying to interrupt you for a second, but we had one stalker for one restaurant. Like, and this is we're only slinging hot dogs.
Yeah.
and to be fair, there's no one person trained on that. Like, whatever asshole came in that day and got assigned to that position, that's who was doing it. So you could either have a very well stocked restaurant, which, like, if you did it correctly, essentially whoever got the shift after you could do nothing for 6 to 8 hours, or else you got it and nothing had been done for the last 6 or 8 hours and you were just hustling your ass off trying to get trays and stuff up to the main level. Yeah. But yeah, we had one person for one restaurant, so
yeah,
and that was fast food.
And it was very different. Yeah, so you had like 2 or 3 like fast food areas where they're just coming by to get like chicken nuggets and pizza, which I still pain in the ass. But then you have at the top end, you have all these weird ingredients. Like, they're all in different like frozen lockers, and they're shit like back then I never even heard of. So I would like talk to a chef like, hey, where is the, and then we'll just use arugula because that was the one I got fucked over with.
Yeah.
I tried saying arugula. I didn't know what it was at the time. Yeah. I got shit for like 3 months from that. Because for those who don't know, the front kitchen and like the customer facing people, they're gonna be super nice. The minute you walk past those doors into the back kitchen, there's so much cursing. There is the worst.
That's where everybody gets their shit out of their system.
It's complete. Well, the thing is, like, they're never in the front of the house, so they're just those people. So when I said, I think it's like arugula or something, I probably had a stroke or something. But it was just 3 months. Like, what a fucking idiot! Like, great.
Yeah, for me. For our restaurant, since it was fast food, everybody got trained at every position. So when you came in, you clocked in, you got assigned a position that day. Some days you could be doing front of the house, cashier, or like food order filler, or you could be doing fries and making hot dogs or cooking the stuff or whatever at the back. So, like, you know, on the days that you got assigned to the front of the house, you had to put on that Disney smile.
Yeah.
You had to, you know, be a performer, essentially, is what they call everybody. You're on stage if you're out in front.
Yeah.
It's not. I get into that though, because like almost because you're like almost role playing. Like, these people are trying to break you, but you gotta like keep the line steady. So in a way, it was kind of fun. Like, if you like taking on a role and trying to figure out how I can play this role. Like, there's one day these people came in. End of the day, it was like 8. I think we were closing at like 10 o'clock that night, so it was probably 9:58, and they ordered a bunch of stuff. Yeah. And they're like, do you guys have any to-go boxes? And I'm like, no, we don't. like that's just not something that exists. And they're like, oh, well, we wouldn't have ordered this if we would have known that. I was like, cool. Let me come up with a solution real quick. And as a good Disney employee, I came up with a series of cups and other of the kind of boxes and stuff, not boxes, but, you know, carrier trays and stuff that we had on hand, and I formed them a to-go box with all of their food, and that was a lot of fun, just because, like, problem solving.
They left it on the table, as you do when you get to go
no,
at the restaurant.
They took it. They were like taking pictures and stuff when I was doing. Like, they were a cool family from like England, I think, and they tried to tip me like $20 afterwards too, which I didn't take because I was a good Disney employee, but.
So he says on camera.
Yeah.
No, I definitely didn't. Which would have. Alex, looking back, kicks himself.
There's a lot of eyes watching at the Disney.
Yeah, no, they probably have a laser trained on me from some sort of, you know, bell tower. Yeah.
Disney does definitely care about their stuff. Like, within those like first 2 weeks that I was working there, there was a girl who was like a little, like maybe 4 or 5 year old girl, just bawling her eyes out. I don't remember about what at this point, but the Grand Floridian, and I think other restaurants or other hotels now do this too. They have like a princesses club. Yeah. So for that whole day, it's just them and a bunch of other little girls dressed up in like Disney outfits, and they hang out with like these adult Cinderellas and stuff, and they just have tea parties and stuff all day. So I talked to my manager like, hey, let's get her a spot, and it was just, here's a free comp. Tomorrow you're hanging out with Cinderella all day, and I was like, oh, cool. I don't know how much that was on its own. I have a feeling feeling super expensive. So just doing that, like, hey, your girl's crying. Hopefully this makes her stop crying.
When I have kids and we go to Disney World, I'm just going to teach them to be shitty as fuck. So they can get all the free stuff.
At that point, you're going to be laying down like $1,200 if you don't have like yearly passes, because fuck, those are expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the time I'm having kids, you know. Right now it's $500 a day to go for a family of 4.
Yeah.
That's actually really spot on. That's how much my cousins paid yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't count meals in the park. It doesn't
count
that's
admission.
Anything.
Only one stock chef, apparently. Can be afforded by that.
The annual, with the new price hike, it's during peak times, it's $129. Was it peak? I suppose it must have
been. $129 a month?
A day.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay. I thought you were talking about the yearly plan for a sec.
The yearly plan is $850 for the cheapest option now.
Fuck. That's a cell phone bill.
You got it right before. You got it at $750. Well, if you bought the cheapest plan, otherwise you got it for $900.
I have a
Or maybe Florida residence is different.
I have a so the Florida residence I think is a little cheaper. For what I paid, I think I put like $150 or $200 down, and then I pay $15 a month.
That's not bad.
Yeah. So whatever that.
Do you have the super blacked out one?
Yeah. Like
okay.
So I don't have full access. I have weekday access. So like I can only go, afternoons really. But it's kind of fun for going.
So anyone who wants to get a yearly Disney annual pass.
Now you know.
Now you know. You know the intricacies, even if you're living in Minnesota or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, that's Disney. That's cool. What you been up to, man?
I have continued my slog through Dark Souls 3. I've really hit my stride here. I played about 34 hours. I'm probably...
You gotta be near the end, right?
I did a quick Google search just to see kind of where I was at, because I was looking to upgrade my weapons. I've been kind of holding on to my materials, waiting for some super kick-ass weapon to show up and maybe use, or to get my strength high enough to start buffing a weapon that I could actually use. It was required like a 34 strength modifier, but I finally I hit a few bosses that were just giving me too much trouble, and it was kind of getting to the point it was more of a slog. I said that before, than fun. Mm-hmm. So I went quick, upgraded my weapons, and now I went back to that same boss, beat him on the first try. So there's a big difference there. And so I'm probably, after Googling it, I think it's called Andor Londo. I think it's like 60 to 65% of the way through the game.
Oh wow, that's way longer than Bloodborne then.
Yeah, I looked it up. If you're doing it like I am, like if I miss an area, I'm not going to play this game more than once. I don't have that much time, obviously. I'll Google and see if there's a secret area back here I missed. Most of the time, I'm super diligent in trying to find those myself. I want to find all of the items, and if there's a secret and I can see an item, I'm going to try and solve how I can get there. There are certain things that just by looking up the game, you're going to find out. Okay, there's a different area over here. I need to at least go look for it. I'm not looking up. Okay, here's exactly where it is. Here's how I beat the boss in the area. This is the damage type. I'm not looking at that. I just want to find the area so I can actually go and experience it myself. So trying to find all those little extra things, 34 hours in, I would think that the game will probably take me about 55 to 60 hours to finish. And that's just a guess.
That's decent.
Like I said, after upgrading my weapons, I'm really kind of churning through enemies now. It's not as much of an issue anymore.
Does it feel this is your second one, right? Or did you play Dark Souls 2?
I played 2.
Which one do you like better out of the two, I guess?
I think they both have their merits. Dark Souls 3, the combat feels a little quicker. It's no Bloodborne, and I feel like at this point, having played Bloodborne back when it released in 2014, maybe it had to be 2014. I might have kind of placed it on a pedestal to where I just picture it as this super fluid combat game, and with really intuitive systems as far as the parry mechanic goes with the gun, the blunderbuss, whatever you want to call it.
A cool setting. You don't see that London-esque like horror Eldritch thing going on very often.
It really is cool. So I would still put Bloodborne as number one, but I think that, as I said before, I think Dark Souls kind of bridges those two. But Dark Souls 3 bridges the gap between 2 and Bloodborne pretty well. The way that I played Dark Souls 2, you kind of hide behind a shield.
Yeah, standard Dark Souls.
You'll still get your ass kicked at certain points, but there's a lot of enemies, and maybe I'm just misremembering 2, but in 3, that break your guard. And if you're just sitting there holding the shield, they're going to run up, bash the shit out of the way, and maybe kill you in one hit.
Mm.
So I feel like they're really punishing that. There's also a lot of status effects, bleeds and poisons. So just if the enemy hits you, even if they're hitting your shield, you're getting that status effect. So if an enemy hits you enough time with a bleed effect, they're still going to kill you even if you're hiding behind the shield, so it's not always going to work. So you're going to have to employ more dodges and everything. So that makes you kind of weigh the balance between having a heavy armor or having like a lighter armor and being able to roll further and having utilizing your stamina better, because I think the higher armor weight uses more stamina when you do those maneuvers, those rolls, the back steps or anything. Mm. So you're kind of weighing that.
Are you feeling fatigue at all?
No, I feel like that in the beginning it was kind of hard to get going, but once the train starts chugging, it's kind of hard to stop, and it's kind of to the point where if there's like a 5-minute break, I sneak in there.
So you think at least like even just thinking about it at work then, like
I'm thinking about maybe not playing it at work. I'm not on the Reddit or the wiki or anything looking up things, but I'm thinking, well, this guy's gonna get home maybe like 30 minutes after me, so I can probably play do a run, so get in, try and maybe go beat that boss that I've been going at here for the last 30 minutes. Or whatever. I'm thinking like that. It's not.
It's a good thing you got Monster Hunter. Now you can actually go in and like spend 30 minutes hacking at a boss and then die.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Yeah, that's another thing with Valentine's Day. Skylar went ahead and got me Monster Hunter, so we're gonna play with the boys.
Stay at arm's distance.
Yeah.
Be busy with it.
Yeah, she's like, I didn't really want to talk to you. So.
Remember your commitment with games at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, you doubled down. Remember?
Yeah, I might have to pick that up then.
I think if we can get.
I think it's something I would enjoy.
I don't know. I haven't played a Monster Hunter game before, but everyone's talking good shit, so I'm down to give it a go.
Yeah.
I'm a little resistant, to be honest. I mean, I would want to do it, but I just don't know if I'll have the time.
Yeah, and it's something as far as what I've heard, what Jimmy said in the chat, kind of need to progress together.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. He's like, I'm not going to get it.
I think that could be really cool.
I think it'd be super cool. I just don't foresee it's like a situation where I'm like neck and neck with you guys. At least probably for the next couple months.
I feel like almost we would probably be better to progress together. Like, I mean, I might be able to play a little bit more than you.
I think Jake and I are probably the most prone to be playing the games. Like, if he and I got together, we could probably ride that puppy all the way to the end.
Yeah.
There is the aspect of different schedules and everything, but I do think that if we got together, we could try and make way to the end game. I don't know how long that game is. It seems like it's probably a decent
I'm sure it's
haul,
decent. Yeah, like another 60, 70 hours.
So it's something that trying to get everybody to commit to. It'd be like, hey, are you free tonight? Like, no, I'm not free tonight. So everyone's waiting on the other
that's
person.
Like a nice
it's almost
thing
like an MMO type leveling almost. Or like progression. When you look at it like that.
To me, that kind of reminds me of like maybe like a Borderlands sort of thing. Like if you don't play with someone that you started a campaign with, they have way better stuff than you, and now you're kind of you're almost a chore to keep in the party.
Well, if it's to the point where you can, like, if I played separate from you, we both ended up in the same storyline or whatever, the same level, like we could come back together. I don't know if that's the same case with Monster Hunter. It might be.
I also heard that stuff's really weird in terms of
the partying up.
Yeah, joining and. Like, you'll join and you have to wait for them to finish a cutscene or something, then you'll spawn somewhere far away. So you're in this boss fight the entire time because that's why the cutscene was there in the first place. Meanwhile, this guy's like trying to trudge to get to you, and by that point, you're halfway through. Or maybe through
monsters are they?
Big ones.
Big old monsters.
Like dinosaurs.
Dinosaur-looking thing, like dragons, that type of thing, I think.
That reveal gameplay trailer from E3 looked really fun.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it. I really haven't seen anything about it.
It's got a lot of great reviews. I mean, I didn't. I guess I technically paid for it, but it's got about it for me, so I didn't feel bad when I didn't get it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to try it. Hopefully, we can get everybody. Jake said he's going to pick it up. Jimmy's already got it. I've got it. So.
And it's like a 20-year franchise too.
Baby.
Yeah. There's something to it.
Here with us, Alex. At least ride this wave initially.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested.
You can get a used copy for $44.
Ooh.
I can hook you up with that.
I gotta go to Best Buy and get a new one for maybe $2 more. So
yeah.
All right.
So
whoever wants to take me on a date,
we've got offers.
Yeah. To me, the thing that what was I gonna say? Something that bothers me about those kinds of games is it feels like there's almost pressure to play it, like at that point. Whereas I want to play a game for fun, like.
Sorry to go because everyone else. Is
yeah, sorry.
Like, hey, dude, get on.
Yeah,
like,
sorry. Sorry to go back to
you?
Fortnite, but like at least that in Fortnite, you guys play for
drop
20 hours. Doesn't affect me at all.
True.
Like,
also, games is like I have that same issue. Like I love games probably more than any other medium, but I'll watch TV and film the most because it is a lean back, just like wash over me. Whereas games, when I'm playing, I'm into it, so I have to be into that. In that space.
Going back real quick, how would you compare? I haven't really played any of the Bloodborns or Dark Souls. That's what I meant. Dark Souls. How does that compare to a game style like what's the one with the Dragonborn guy?
Oh, Skyrim.
Skyrim's
garbage. Those are good.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I mean
they both have their.
I had Skyrim at one point, and I just never got into it. So I don't know if
I got really into both games when they came out. I think I dumped. I don't know. I hate to speak hyperbolically, but I think it was at least 200 hours. Yeah. At least 200. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I was thinking 400.
I think I did like 11, maybe.
Yeah, I dove deep into that game.
Skyrim.
Yeah, I before any of the DLC was released, I was going to 1,000 point it. We get all the achievements, and I hadn't Googled the achievement list beforehand, so whenever you enter the Thieves Guild,
so you were just fucked. Yeah,
they give you this shitty armor. Well, I guess it's not as good as the Nightingale armor, which I had already acquired.
Yeah, from the Thieves Guild. That's the one thing I finished was the Thieves Guild quest in Skyrim, which were okay.
So the Thieves Guild initially give you this armor, and one of the achievements is to fully level it up. Well, I had already had the Nightingale armor at that point, so I walked over, sold all of it to some guy, and then realized, oh no, one of the achievements is to upgrade this all the way, and there's no way of getting it back. Yeah. So I had this 200 plus hour save, all the other achievements done, and I could not.
Skyrim is garbage. I should walk it back. Because I really like the one that came out before that, Oblivion. That was my shit. Yeah. That was probably around 200 hours or so. Yeah. Just something didn't hit. I like the dragons were cool, but other than that, Skyrim just didn't hit. The Infinite Quest, I fucking hated that. Just from concept, and also I did it a bunch of times thinking it would run out.
I think that Skyrim and I guess maybe Fallout 4, maybe to an extent, have a similar gameplay loop where you go in, and I guess the settlement building wasn't there in Skyrim, but you go in. There's a reason to visit this thing. There's a small story beat or whatever it is. So you go here, you have a bunch of enemies, you loot the area, do that over and over again. The combat and the areas you're finding are interesting enough that it keeps you wanting to go back for more. Because Skyrim, I'm misremembering. There was pretty cool loot in Skyrim. I don't remember.
I don't remember the Thieves Guild armor. That's about it.
I don't think Fallout 4 did it in such a good way because there wasn't that huge variety of weapons you were going to find or equipment or anything. Your big loot items were going to be things you were going to use for settlement creation and all that, which I never really got into. So I still fell into that loop and wanted to go in and kept finding those things. But for me, Fallout has always been about the little stories that are getting told throughout the environment, and that's why I love it so much. The world itself, I let that wash over me. I find it really engrossing and something that I can kind of put myself into.
Yeah. I don't know if I can do that anymore in a post-Witcher 3 world. Honestly,
maybe, yeah. Witcher 3 is a game that I just bounce straight off of it. I walk in, I realize this is going to be 200 hours. Okay.
I'm not sure. It's a lot of hours though, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say 100, but I've never actually checked.
It seems like that one of those for me.
I played it for 7 months.
I leave right after that. I've tried it. I've tried to play it 2 times. And there's an area in the beginning where you're in a castle doing some tutorial shit. And I don't make it past that. I think you're climbing on walls.
Oh shit, you're in the very beginning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I make it no further than that before I'm see you later.
You see naked butt and it just doesn't what if there's there's other naked butts out there? Yeah. You don't want to see it. There's many.
I'm sure if it's another one of the favorite game series of all time. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say that. Obviously Fallout. Mm-hmm. Playing Fallout 3 for the first time, I had rented a copy of Fallout 3 and Red Faction Guerrilla.
That's right.
Which I will still argue Red Faction Guerrilla is an incredible game.
Yeah. No one's shitting on that, I don't think.
okay, whatever. Yeah. I was getting ready to like duke it out. Like,
no.
Fucking destruction mechanics were.
I don't know if it still holds
ahead
up,
of their time.
Back then, yeah.
I had a good time with that, but I had rented Fallout 3 at the same time. I put it in, played it for 10 minutes. I was like, it's dumb.
Yeah, I remember talking mad shit about the Fallout 3.
Yeah, and so I sent it, put it back in the movie gallery. Somehow I got a copy from a friend, and I was in the right headspace. Like, here we go. Like, I rode that train. It was
I think Witcher 3 could Oblivion. Be similar.
It might.
I don't know, because you've also been playing Dark Souls and stuff a lot, and it does control similar, but it's definitely not Dark Souls. So I don't know if that would bother you as you're playing. But like when you're talking about little stories and vignettes, like that's what The Witcher 3 is. That's what it gets so right, and that's why people love it so much.
I won tons of Game of the Year, so it's not like I can't argue that it's a bad game just because I didn't like it. It's just something that I didn't get into right away.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a game that I would have to maybe watch someone else play it, or maybe watch like all the story beats come alive if the combat's not going to get me. Yeah, and maybe not. I'll try it again one day. I got it on my PC. We'll crank that bad boy up.
But yeah, Skyrim, I don't know. Skyrim didn't grab me for whatever reason. I'm not sure why.
I think I played maybe total 20 hours of it, like over a long period of time. For whatever reason, in those medieval games, being someone with a sword never has interested me. Like, I've never been about sword fights, which is probably why Dark Souls 3 or Dark Souls, probably, what's the other game? Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Those probably wouldn't grab me. Like, I've
always
been about archery, like in those games. So I did like
archer in Dark Souls.
Really?
Yeah.
It's interesting. That's why I like.
It's gonna be a rough road.
Yeah, it's gonna suck.
Well, I mean, in
yeah, it's gonna blow.
In Skyrim, that was a very like optional path.
Oh, for sure.
You could do that, and that's what I did.
A sneak bonus.
Yeah, I really like the there was a spell that like cast some sort of bow that you had infinite arrows for, which was super dope. I really enjoyed that part about the game, but overall, like, just the map was real big, and I've never been good about like fast traveling places. Like, I always like walk there and then realize, oh, I should have probably fast traveled.
Have you gotten into any other Western RPGs like that?
Western made as in US
Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah,
I would probably fall into that category.
Yeah, I guess Red Dead Redemption would be different for me because I'm all about that period. Like, I love cowboy stuff.
Setting,
yeah. And there's horses, and I felt like I guess there's horses in
they're not the same.
Skyrim, but the horses
these horses wear no armor.
Yeah, the horses in Red Dead Redemption, I always felt like you could whistle for one and one would just come out of nowhere, just like a car, like hailing a taxi, which I fucking loved. Like, yeah, I'm in the middle of nowhere. Sure, I'll get a horse. Like, I just thought that's such a great game. I really do want to play it right now. That's an interesting
like tagline to put on the back of the box. Yeah. Horses everywhere.
Yeah. No, that's great. Like, I never want to feel trapped somewhere, which is sometimes how I felt in Skyrim. Like, I'm on the side of a fucking mountain, and I was like, well, how do I?
And your horse just fucked off somewhere.
Well, those games, Skyrim and Fallout 4 had a similar. You kind of start out like a little shit, and raiders are doing heavy damage. By the end, in Fallout 4, I had found so many fusion cores. I was wearing the power armor 24/7. I've gotten like the train wreck or whatever, the bullet train perk or whatever. So when you run into enemies, they send them flying. I suspected the melee because I had grown past guns. So I would just run into camps, just like, chill, motherfucker! Like, just running people over, just beating them over the head with super sledges. And that's kind of how the game's, you go from like, fucking hiding behind a tree, shooting somebody at the end of the game. You're this just death machine.
Yeah.
I think Skyrim probably had the same thing.
I think you would love The Witcher because there's also a horse button, except you don't see it, like, you'll occasionally catch it running up to you, but it always happens off screen. So you'll just whistle and then you'll turn around like, oh, fuck. So it's pretty great.
To be fair, alright, I just want to clarify. A horse button does not mean I'll love a game, but it's a good start.
It's a good start, yeah. There's some good horse buttons out there. Shadow of the Colossus has a horse button.
I might have to pick it up now.
Doesn't whistle, though. He says the horse's name. But it's still pretty good. That's a badass horse.
So it's always the same horse. Like I liked in Red Dead Redemption that you could replace your horse with a new horse. Like if you saw like you're riding a black horse, but you see like a cool like brown horse, and you're like, I want that horse instead. So you lasso
throw
it.
your horse to the fucking side.
Yeah, you just
send it to the glue factory.
And then did you ever play the DLC for Red Dead Redemption? The
No.
Zombies. That was first of all.
I've heard great things about that.
It was very good. I didn't complete it, but like you could find the horses of the apocalypse in there, which was real cool. And they each had their own separate effect. Like one was famine, one was whatever the Inferno horse is.
Yeah. Death. I forget what the other ones are.
But as you rode past the zombies, they would cast their effect, which was real cool. And the dialogue for it was really great. But anyway, yeah, I guess those kind of games I've just had a hard time getting into, except for Red Dead Redemption.
I think I've got an addictive personality, at least when it comes to those types of games.
I think
that I'll get invested pretty quickly. Maybe that's why I bounce off of them quickly as well. It's like if I don't see those hooks immediately, I don't want to get involved.
I would have to pay attention.
But once I get involved, I'm there. I'm gonna ride that thing to the end. I'm gonna at least look at all the achievements to see which ones I'm gonna get.
I think I do get overwhelmed when I start those games,
Yeah.
which is probably what makes me stop. Like I'd have to replay Red Dead Redemption to tell you for sure, but I think when you accept a quest in Red Dead Redemption, that is your quest. Like there's not like a list of 50 quests that you've accepted, and like I think that's your quest. You can probably accept multiple side quests, but they're very obvious on like how to complete, and they weren't very hard. They're just like Grand Theft Auto quests but with horses. So go ride a couple hundred feet that way, find the bandit that just robbed the town or whatever, shoot him, bring him back alive. Like it was a very straightforward storyline to me versus like
you feel like you just kind of wanted to explore the world
in Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah,
Sometimes I would ride off, like go do shit.
Sounds like you'd like the more direct experience. Like in comparison to like The Witcher or like Oblivion, where you're actually managing a list of quests.
Yeah, I fucking hate that. Like that is a huge turnoff for me in a game because I don't know which ones like give out the best rewards or do or have the best storyline. So like, and I don't always feel like I want to commit to like a 3 or 4 hour play session. Like I want to like play
also
for an
narratively,
hour.
They're very busy compared to Red Dead. Whereas Red Dead is like just one man's tale. Like Skyrim, you have this civil war going on.
Yeah.
And it's not like Oblivion where like, oh, you got to find the dragon child or whatever his name is. In The Witcher, like you're just a guy who kills monsters and all this shit's happening around you. So it's a little bit, I don't know. There's a lot more to pay attention to instead of like, here's my objective.
Like from what I've played of Horizon Zero Dawn, I'd say that's another comparative game. That's been better so far, but I do feel myself getting overwhelmed. Like shit, I'm looking for grandma's necklace or something like right now, and then I talked to another lady who's just in the middle like crying for help, and I'm like, well shit, like I don't know if I'll ever see her again because I'm bad about coming back to shit. I'll talk to her, and all of a sudden she's like, find my crazy brother who's been banished for 7 years. There's a lot of blood over there. And I was like, okay, what about grandma's necklace? And then like I forget which like marker on the map I'm going to, so I'm expecting a necklace, and now there's a fucking brother, and I'm just like, fuck, grandma's gonna be pissed. Like I've been out here looking for this thing for like 3 hours. Like that sort of shit just doesn't do it for me, and I like it's probably because I was like I didn't get in early enough. It's almost like you need to like play a progressive line of games to work up to this kind of game task management.
Whereas, I can see that.
Whereas I went from like FIFA to Red Dead Redemption to Grand Theft Auto to back to FIFA, back to like simpler games. Like I didn't keep
Rocket League. There's not
I didn't
story
keep
beats. There's no quests to manage.
Yeah, I didn't keep diving in that hole. Like I mean, I'd say something that I am very passionate about would be Borderlands 2 or Borderlands 1 for that matter. Like I think those are amazing, and I guess you can have a similar thing there, but the story was always so interesting and funny and light enough that for Borderlands 2 you'd agree?
Well, the story, it was there. It was fun. It had some good characters, but for me it was always about the guns.
For me, it was always about playing with my buddies.
Yeah, and that experience.
Okay.
That's a game I didn't really play alone a lot.
And
I really, to be honest, I kind of don't like the writing of Borderlands. Borderlands 1, I kind of dig. Borderlands 2, I was...
Really? I really like Borderlands 2.
It just... Like, it sounded like internet memes before everyone said memes all the time. And it was too loud. It felt like the equivalent of just someone like yelling in my ear all the time. I was like, let me just chill out a sec.
I feel like that's like every scene with Cloud Chat, but I didn't feel
Some
that.
handsome Jack in there too. They were
Tiny Tina.
I think you're right. There was a lot of it. Yeah.
Which, I mean, a lot of people seem super into it. Just for me, I was just like, man, if you could just tone it down a little bit, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't get that so much, and I think maybe that's because I haven't played a lot of other games. So like maybe it was fresh for me versus like you've played probably better games. So like going to that, maybe that would have turned you off.
It's not a bad game. It's just that one part I don't necessarily care for. It's not something like, ooh, I can't necessarily say what I'm about to say. Like I'm just not necessarily invested in the narrative. The closest I got was the big hawk. I forget his name now. Bloodwing.
Yeah,
and that was just because the mechanic in the first one I thought was awesome, and that's who I played was Mordecai, right?
Yep.
Yeah. But other than that, like in terms of investment in the story, like the entirety too, like I know a lot of stuff happens, a lot of people die and stuff. Like none of it really hit me at all.
Yeah, that's where I fell in love. It was a good time. The combat was fun.
But people do care about that stuff.
They're interesting.
Well, the loot I think is a really good point though for 2 because like versus in Skyrim, maybe I just didn't play it well, but I never felt like I was getting rewarded with like as wanting to be an archer, like, you know, I always looking for a better bow or a better arrow, I guess, but that's like few and far between. I feel like
I think it's less of a focus too. Like Skyrim's definitely a lot more disparate in what it's trying to focus on many things. Whereas Borderlands like guns,
yeah,
a million gajillion guns.
Like, I'm walking here and there's 4 or 5 types of guns. Like, okay, like shit, I have this cool SMG, but there's a better one. Like instant gratification.
This one shoots grenades.
Not like this is the one thing I want to do. I want to be an archer, and by like the 4th or 5th like hour, I think I had like one of the second best bows in the game or something like that. And just because I looked it up, like how to get it, of course, but I was like, so it doesn't get better than this, huh?
Yeah.
Versus
I
Borderlands,
think those games
it's always better.
They're bad with combat. A lot of times, those Bethesda games, there aren't usually a super diverse group of enemies to fight.
Yeah.
Whereas in a single area of Borderlands, you're going to have enemies that are big robots, big fatties, robots. You've got to shoot them in certain areas. Midgets here. They all have different weapons. This guy's got a fucking jetpack over here. So
jumping out of loot boxes.
There's especially when you talk about Skyrim. Comparing that to Borderlands, so there's hardly any verticality in the combat. So everything's like, here's 3 Drogar in this tomb, the same 3 enemies I've been seeing for the last 8 hours. Okay, I'm gonna fight them the same way. Okay, shield. Okay.
I almost wonder.
So if you're coming to it for combat, I don't know. You've got to be in it for the world, the lore, like finding all the little things, wanting to go read the little stories in the book.
And I think that's what
you already know I'm bad at that.
Yeah. So I don't think that's probably not your cup of tea.
Yeah. I think that's why I'm less interested in Bethesda games, the main Bethesda games nowadays, is because I think about Oblivion. I think like maybe that was my experience. Like that was because I remember very clearly being in that prison in Oblivion, getting out of the prison and just like, what the fuck? Like this whole game this is a whole world here. I remember like walking to certain places and legitimately being lost because the world was so big and like coming upon big cities filled with people. Like, I didn't even know this was here. Let's go explore this. And I wonder if I'm just a little bit more desensitized to that. So that just doesn't work as well on me. And then it's like, well, the combat wasn't that great.
I haven't had any of those. Oh my God! You can go to that mountain. If you see that mountain, you can go there. Like I don't look at those games like that. I haven't since Oblivion either. You know, you walk out of that sewer tunnel. Yeah. There's like, I believe there's an island across the way from you. There's a guy over there. He's got a bow. You can swim over there.
I remember like you kill a crab because the crab was right there, and then I went into a forest and I was just walking around the forest. I saw a deer like run by. Like, this is magic right now.
Yeah,
because that was when the 360 like first came out. It was like 5 months into when it came out. Like, never played a game anywhere near like this. Yeah. Didn't play Morrowind or whatever, so had no concept of how big those worlds could be.
Yeah, I guess
some of the worlds today are almost so big it's tedious.
That's why I think I'm just desensitized completely to it.
I think
you've got to do a lot to diversify your enemies. Like Horizon does a really good job of that, depending on the area you're in.
Yeah.
I think, granted, Horizon doesn't have a ton of different enemy types, but they're diverse enough that when you go to a certain area, you can see a vast change.
Yeah. You just got to do something. Like, it's not enough to be big nowadays.
No.
Like Grand Theft Auto, they have great writing, and that's their thing, and that's cool. So they can be big, but if you're just being big for the sake of being big, Assassin's Creed, basically, like, I'm out. Though I'm sure the last one was pretty good. People say good things.
Yeah, I forget what the term is. It might be railroading, where you're not really given a choice as to what to do. Like, you're on tracks, pretty much.
Just like a linear gameplay experience, like Call of Duty or something.
Yeah, but to a point where, like kind of, in Borderlands, I could see that to an extent. Like, there's the one main story that's dragging you throughout these different lands. But I like that whilst you're there, there's a clear, like, if you've accepted all the other mini quests, they're all pretty much in the same area. Like, there might be they're in the same world. You're not having to travel back, like, across the map. I think in the Necklace and Boy example from Horizon, they're literally, like, as far apart as I know of right now. Yeah. So I'm like, cool, like, which one do I want to go to? Like, which one am I more interested in? Because if I go to this one, and then I gotta go all the way back there, that's just not interesting to me. Like, that loses my, like, kind of what you're talking about. Like, it's too big for me. Like,
I think it's not even necessarily, like, an issue of, like, size. Like, you just didn't do enough with that size. Yeah. Like, you didn't, like, I think about The Witcher. That was the only game I played again for, like, 6 or 7 months. It is fucking gigantic. But that was one of the few games you said you don't really fast travel. I fast travel whenever I can. Witcher 3 I did not, just because I wanted to make that ride, because that's what it did very well. Most games don't pull that off, though.
Yeah.
At least for me.
That's fair. Like, for Grand Theft Auto, like, a fast travel would be like taking a taxi or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's very well worked into a mechanic. So I appreciated that. Like, sitting around a campfire and fast traveling to another campfire that I've discovered doesn't make sense to me. Like, cool, like, I slept here and then I'm here. It's not, I'm taking, like, if I could just, like, I guess it, I have to think about it. I'm getting on a horse and it's just skipping to, like, the next place. But
also, it's definitely, I think, also an age thing. You just have less patience for that stuff.
Yeah. It's less time as well. That's
well, yeah, exactly.
As a kid, an open world game is a sandbox. For us, as you get older, you have less time. It's like, okay, you're watching your clock. Like, okay, do I even have time to do this?
Yeah. Dinner's gotta be.
Sleeping came out. We were in 8th grade, I think, at the time. Like, plenty of time. Too much time.
I mean, we kind of went off on tangents there, but Kyle,
that's pretty good.
You get your general opinions on open world games, I think. I'm someone who's for them. I generally kind of go for it. Alex, I'm kind of getting the vibe you're kind of a no-fer on that one. There's got to be something specific.
Yeah, like
Kyle, I don't think that you play many open world games anymore.
I yin-yang. It depends completely on time. So, like, when I got Tacoma from the Humble Bundle, like, perfect, 2 hours. I can do this, Whereas The Witcher, it was very much like, okay, this is one playing forever, apparently.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'd say you're kind of right for me. Like, Red Dead Redemption 2 coming out, I'm super looking forward to that. Like, I've been looking forward to that since 1 came out, pretty much, since I beat 1. I'd say the same thing for Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm super looking forward to that. That's not really an open world compared
kind of. I mean, if you're gonna, like, kind of Borderlands-esque type stuff.
Yeah, so,
like linear sandboxes.
Yeah, like, so I would say maybe that fits more my mold. I'd also really be looking forward to there's one other game that I'm really looking forward to this year. If I think about
Far Cry 5?
No, I never played Far Cry.
You should. You should at least
Far Cry 3 is great.
You should play 3.
I'm cynical about 5.
I think I
hope it's good.
I think I have 3.
I'm cautiously optimistic. Because I enjoyed 4 when everybody else was like, they needed to do something else other than more Far Cry 3. Like, nah, it was good still.
I liked it all.
I still had fun.
Far Cry 3 is fantastic.
Yeah, Far Cry 4 was still good. Maybe the story wasn't as great.
Yeah. I guess the other game I was thinking of, if they did a Borderlands 3, like, I'm very,
it's definitely in the works.
I'm definitely I'm very.
Well, I've seen them do, like, sorry to interrupt, but I think they use the Unreal Engine. So Unreal, they put out videos and presentations like, hey, here's this new cool shader technology. Like, I've seen talks from Randy Pitchford, like, hey, this is what we're using to make Borderlands 3 right now. And, like, I think that came out maybe a year ago. They were showing, like, new shading technology, new modeling technology.
I thought they were going to make an announcement for Borderlands 3 last year. So I'm going to double down on that this year. I think we'll probably see something from E3.
Yeah, it's weird because they did announce it, but it wasn't like with any fanfare.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, we're definitely working on it. Also, here's some development videos that no one wants to watch of us talking about the tech behind Borderlands 3. Yeah. But he says it many times during that, like, yeah, and this is what our Borderlands 3 lead artist is doing right now.
Yeah, with that fan base, I think it's going to print money.
Especially with the trailers. The trailers have always been great. That In the Jungle trailer for Borderlands 2 I watched that many times.
Yeah. There's some about those games I like. I like finding combinations. Like, I didn't find it, but like, you know, like you hear like, oh, get the B shield or get the Pimpernel sniper rifle, and like you just like break the game with those two like combinations, and like that's fun for me, just to like get the best loot and just kind of do stuff like that.
That's one thing. Like, I guess I don't know if I like the loot aspect of mini games that come out nowadays. I think I was spoiled with like old style loot systems like Diablo 2, where it wasn't about numbers, which I get the numbers grind, but for me, I remember it being like there's a name attached to this thing, and you have to get all these other super rare things that have names attached to them. So it wasn't about like, boom, get a green sword, and it could be a super green sword with like a super dope number. It was like, ooh, I got the Ist rune. If I get the Ist rune with the Ra rune and this rune and combine them into an armor that has 4 sockets, then it will make this legendary. Like, loot's changed.
I'd be way more into
I think Destiny blows ass, but maybe that's just me. There's nothing there.
I like the mechanics. I haven't played it since. I haven't played any Destiny 2, but
just the loot itself. It doesn't. It don't get me hot and bothered.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Pretty fucking boring, actually, but whatever. It's my Destiny 2nd. I don't like the game by it.
Do you like spaghetti westerns like Good, the Bad, and the Ugly?
Yeah, I like westerns in general. Yeah.
I think it's from this movie, that scene where he takes the barrel and the revolver chamber, and he like builds like his own little revolver right there. I would love to see more aspects of like building something that you like in games. Like if you got to, in Borderlands 3, if you got to build your own weapon, like combining the certain like, you know, if you like the mechanic of a reload grenade, I think it's Theodore or whatever, you throw the gun whenever you reload. Like I think if you could build your own weapon with the certain parts, I think that'd be real cool.
I'm sure they definitely thought about that.
Yeah, I just think that there should be more creativity, more like
in games. You can craft your own weapons.
Dead Space 3 did. Didn't help that game. So.
Yeah, no, it's not great. There's still the weapon selection is super limited. I mean, you can basically turn every weapon. There's 5 or 6 maybe. Yeah. You've got like the pipe weapons, the regular like assault rifle weapons, laser weapons, pulse or plasma weapons. You got 4 or 5.
It didn't like amaze you with possibilities.
And they can all turn into a pistol or a sniper rifle or an automatic rifle. They all do the same fucking thing. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's stupid.
Yeah. That's one thing I also don't like. I get why they do it, but the whole leveling up yourself pretty much levels up everything. They kind of deviated a bit away from like, okay, you're an archer now, so like you can be anything if you want. Like, I remember the beginning of Oblivion where you choose like, I think it's like your constellation, and once you choose that, like, okay, you're locked into this play style. That's what you're gonna do.
Oh yeah, you're choosing a class basically.
Yeah.
In Oblivion.
And I get why people ditch that. I understand it, but I don't know. There was something to that setup as well. I think Diablo 3 kind of similar.
I think
way.
Ease of use for people to get into it. Because as a kid, when I was a kid and playing Oblivion, I didn't understand why can't I level up? But whenever I use this shitty fucking fire, I had somehow decided that I was going to be a pyromancer, I think. And so like I had these fire spells, but I didn't want to use them. I just wanted to bash people over the head. And I guess I had forgotten that I had made that choice. So I was limited on what skills would level me up. So my major skills were the only things that were actually bumping me up levels. So I was like forcing myself to do fire spells and transfiguration spells. So getting away from that, I don't think it's completely bad. Especially when you talk about kids, like I had no idea what I was doing. It was the first game like that I had played that was like that.
Yeah, and I think it's the right move. I think maybe it just falls into. I think I do prefer more directed experiences, at least at this point.
I would think so.
Maybe come summer, I'll flip. But for right now, like if you can just give me a good experience that's tight and just good, like that's my shit right now.
Yeah.
Did you do anything this week?
Yeah.
I didn't finish my week. So
shit!
I saw Hostiles.
Yeah, I don't want to be rude.
No.
A month in the making.
Yeah, I figured it was about time that someone just went and saw it.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't know what to expect. Was it going to be a super slow movie? Was it going to be more fast paced. I think it fell kind of in the middle. Okay. It was good enough to keep you interested.
It reminded me of what did Leo finally win?
Revenant. Yes. Yeah, and that's where I felt. Did you see it?
No.
Okay, yeah.
I think from the trailer.
That's kind of where I ended up with it too. I told Skylar afterwards after we saw it. That's kind of the general pacing that I had. There was some.
Revenant was pretty slow.
Yeah, there was times where exactly. Yeah. So there were times where they lingered in a scene and they kind of let you feel it, but there were times where it picked up. I'm thinking of the horse scene going over the edge. And,
yeah.
So
did you like Revenant?
I liked a lot of things about it.
It was long.
Yeah, it was basically a lot of very talented people worked on something, and that was super evident. I just the heart wasn't in it really very much. Tom Hardy did great. He was fantastic.
Yeah.
I wish he got an Oscar for that movie too, because A+. But yeah, I don't know. I just nothing. I'm not gonna buy it, but it was very good, and I see why it got all the awards it got.
Yeah, I didn't feel super connected to anyone.
Exactly.
But otherwise, it was beautiful.
Yeah. It was shot amazing. The real light, it did something to the movie, because especially that first invasion scene, I guess, where the Indians ambush, that was fantastic. That whole scene was magical. I think it was mostly one shot, from what I remember.
Yeah, I think there was a few they panned by a tree.
Yeah, I'm sure they did some tricks too.
They made it look really seamless. But for Hostiles, there was a couple of other really good actors that played in that, and they really carried the performance as well. Mm-hmm. So
man.
It's and he does great. The characters they're fairly interesting. They got they do enough with them that I feel like it's worth going to take a peek, especially if you've got a movie pass, because it's free as hell.
Yeah.
So I would definitely, before it leaves theaters, go and check it out.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that. I need to start using my movie pass again.
Yeah.
I'm falling into that hole too. I haven't been using it.
Not me.
Yeah.
I'm steady, baby.
I keep using it. I keep thinking about oh shit, I could really use that time to do this. And that's been the last 2.5 weeks right now.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of movies more on my own.
Well, they got Black Panther coming out now.
Yeah, Black Panther. I'll be on that this weekend. Yeah.
I'm hoping. Yeah. I hope I like it. There's a lot of people in it. I like.
You guys want to see it together this weekend? We talk about that.
The director's name Ryan Coogler. He did Fruitvale Station.
Everything he touches turns to gold.
He's done a lot of Michael B. Jordan. Yeah.
Oh my god! And it's got Michael B. Jordan, so I'm so fucking wet right now.
That'll be the first big movie I've seen of that director then. But I've heard great things about both those movies, so
yeah, I really enjoyed both of them. So
and the soundtrack's done by
reviews to come.
Soundtrack.
Run the Jewel.
Isn't it? No, is it Gambino? Who did the soundtrack?
Oh, I hadn't heard.
No, fuck. No, it was Kendrick, right?
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
Well, because in the trailer they have the Run the Jewel songs. But
oh really?
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah, so I guess
Kendrick Lamar doesn't play. Maybe they can go mainstream. Finally do it big.
Anyway, I'm pretty sure it's Run the Jewels. If I'm misspeaking, if we had fans, you could blast me, but we don't. So.
We could put this in our correction.
This is gonna be the one.
Anyway, Cal.
Yeah, we definitely said some wrong ass shit, especially me.
What's up with you, boy?
I mean, games is the usual. Hearthstone and just doing that video. The thing with Hearthstone is I can literally go and play for 5 minutes, and it will be 5 minutes. But it is I'm just cutting myself slowly because I get so mad. I have been doing better this month, but it's still it's such a bullshit game. It's such a bullshit game if you don't dump $200 into it immediately. You're just gonna get killed by everyone who apparently is at the same rank as you, so they suck balls. But they have all the most magical cards that ever were, that do all the most magical shit that your cards can't do.
Kind of makes you feel bad for them though, knowing that someone spent money on the game or have just been grinding that out for so long and they're just so terrible still.
Oh really? I just fuck you.
Are there multiple game modes in that?
Yeah. So I mean, you got
Magic has Commander, and then you can play Popper. You can agree to
not really like that.
A Popper match or whatever they call it.
So
it's with only common cards or whatever it is.
It's been a while since you played, but they saw the standard play where you're just playing a game. You have the arena, which is the one where you paid into, which you remember. That's the most fair system because you don't have to bring your thousands of dollars of cards. So I like playing that one. Then there's a wild mode, or not wild mode. There's the Brawl, which is just a custom game that they do I think twice a week, and they're just weird rules and they're kind of fun. But I only really play that once because it's the only time you actually get something. If you win once, you get a free card back, and that's it. But beyond that, they have the story missions, which you may remember they started. There's one called the Dungeon Run, so you can as you play, you start with like maybe 5 cards, and then each successive game you win, you choose like 2 or 3 cards. So you're slowly building this random deck and going against more and more bullshit enemies until you finish the dungeon run. So there's a lot of stuff to do. It's just the main thing that you play is mostly bullshit for the most part.
Yeah.
Like I said, I had them better because I actually looked up a few decks online, which is the first time I've ever done that. I always wanted to be very pure and not look up the meta. Because that's not like what Ash Ketchum would have done, you know?
Yeah.
He got bullshit ass Pikachu who shocked him to death, and then he became the Pokemon Master.
Fucking went and took down Brock.
Yeah, exactly. He wasn't looking up on, like, I guess he used his Pokédex a little bit. It wasn't like, what's the best Pokemon? Like, Pikachu, get out of here. Pidgey, come here.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Hearthstone, that's my current punishment that I'm doing game-wise. Like I said, it's going better, but it's still...
How many wins we got this week?
I'm doing much better. I'm doing way, way better on that.
More than 5?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'd probably 20, 30 already. Yeah, like apparently if you follow all the online stuff, you do slightly better. But it's such a bullshit deck.
That's pretty cool.
Like when things go right with my deck, I'm killing people on turn 5. Like it's just quick and easy until they pull down the magical.
Maybe that's where the disconnect for me is on when it comes to the online card games.
Yeah.
Whereas playing Magic or something with a group of friends, as long as your friends aren't those type of people who go and look up the strategy decks, if everyone's like, "Oh, I'm gonna build my own deck," like this is so cool, like having this ownership. Maybe I went online and looked up the Gatherer and like found all the zombie cards because I really wanted to build a zombie deck, but I didn't like look up this is the best possible zombie. You know, first off, you wouldn't need to be playing a zombie deck because it's not great. That you commit to that, like, okay, this is the commander I want. This is who I want to play with. This is the play style I'm going for. Like, let's fucking do it. I don't care if it gets like stomped. Like when I pull off my combo, I'm gonna feel great. Rather than like, okay, well I've got a bunch of shitty Mirelurks or whatever they're called, Murlocs.
Like a Murloc rush.
We're gonna do a Murloc rush here. It's like I feel like you're reading it like you almost become monotone as everything's pretty boring.
Also, the cards.
You're doing it, and you've lost all love for the game, but you're still doing it to hurt yourself. That's what that game seems like to me.
Well, also, you haven't played since like near the beginning, right?
Oh no, yeah, I've been out forever.
What the cards goddamn do nowadays will blow your fucking mind. There's a card that you have that and you'll know you're against this person because it happens in the beginning of the game. It just pops up when both you start the game. It's like shuffle 5 random legendary monsters into your deck, and you just see 5 cards going in your deck. And like, motherfucker,
what the fuck?
He has 5 more legendary cards than I have currently, and they could be the most magic fucking awesome cards.
Why does that exist?
I don't know.
It's fucking stupid.
And people are even gonna say if they listen, like, "Oh, that's not that bad." Like, you're right, because there's cards that like. There's one card that I got today. I got super gypped on because he top decked fucking 2 of these things, which is why he got 2 of them. But it does. It's a 10 cost card, which is the highest you can spend. It does 5 damage to anything you want. It summons a 5/5 and it gives you 5 armor. And he top decked 2 of them. And I'm like, what the fuck do I do with this now? Like, he just fucking destroyed me. And there's also that, because you only have 30 cards, so if you have your deck stacked with legendary cards, you're going to get something in that gameplay turn. Or if you have a super specialized deck, like, you could get a real shitty draw, and then you're just fucked.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of the best design games I've ever played. It just sucks it's a card game. Yeah. So it comes with all the baggage that card game does. I will say it's a lot more rewarding with gold and stuff than it used to be back in the day. Also, when you get a quest, you can go like, fuck that quest. I'm like, okay, how about this quest? So that's nice. So you're not just like, no, I don't really want to play Preach. You can hit X and like, hopefully it's a mage or something like that. But yeah, it's Hearthstone. I'm going to be playing it for eternity. I'm probably going to get a heart attack because of it.
I don't know. I mean, if that's your game, then my game would be Clash Royale. I really don't know why you guys don't like that game.
I can't do phone games, period.
Oh, yeah. No fucking way.
Yeah, it's not even, it's not, I mean, there is a little bit there that's like a phone game, but the attention span, for some reason with phones, I just don't use phones in that way. You can ask Cameron, Words with Friends, I play a game, I wouldn't even necessarily be losing, we just started a game, and then I'm out, and I'm gone forever.
I mean, I would like to make you guys play one game after this, just like, and
I've heard enough things about it that I wouldn't do it to myself.
Why?
It goes dark places, right? Where you need to start spending money.
The emotions, the emoticons.
I don't think you have to.
Yeah.
I've heard about that. That's like when
fun.
you know you're losing. No,
I don't know that.
Yeah, no.
But I mean, they limited that because people were getting so pissed about like people spamming them with emojis.
Yeah, I bet they did.
Why?
That pissed me off.
It's so funny. Like
well,
I don't do it, but when someone sends me like a sad face because they think they're beating me, and at the end of the game I beat their ass, and then I send like angry face, and then I give them a couple sad faces, and then I say good game, and then I give them another sad face, and I just like fucking like wreck their world, and I'm flipping them off in real life, and
it's the same thing as Hearthstone, because Hearthstone you can kind of do it, but not as it's this other person who spent a shit ton of money, so they're just laying down the most amazing cards every turn, and then they beat you in like turn 4. It's like, well, fucking course you beat me. You got all the Exodias.
Yeah.
And I got goddamn Caterpiece here that I did a lot of damage with, but it's not going to beat your Exodias. And then they're just going, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. It's like, I don't know what to say to
so
that.
I think there's a cool part of Clash Royale that balances it out now. They added this afterwards. So like if you guys started playing right now, if you guys really got into it tonight, you would probably never be able to catch up to me unless I quit the game. Because I've been playing it since literally beta released. But they do have a mode that's called tournament mode, and then at that point, if you have a card, it levels it up to level 9 or the respective level that it's supposed to be for tournament mode, and that way everybody's on a even playing field.
Okay,
so then it's all based off strategy. So like if you played the game for a while and you got as good as me technically, but you just didn't have the same card levels, we could actually play and have a fair match. And it wouldn't be like you're just getting blasted all the time because I have better cards.
And there's no RNG with that. Like there's no random with that. It's like here's the cards I'm bringing.
Yeah,
they're gonna get leveled up.
You build your own deck
Okay.
that you want. You choose the cards that you like. If they introduce a new card that you really like the mechanic of, like there's one that's called the Battle Ram. It's not a very popular card, or at least it wasn't. But I instantly like loved it, and I use it in ways that most people don't. I've actually never played anyone that uses it the same way as I do, which I like the fact that I've used this card in a different way. And I'm really good with it. And it took me a while to get good with it because it wasn't a very intuitive card. But once I did get good with it, I beat people with it all the time. And I think I only have like a 58 or 59% win ratio because once you play enough games, and there is a meta within the game at certain points, like when they're balancing out cards. Like sometimes my cards won't be as good as the best cards in the game, but I don't usually switch decks. Like I'm not chasing the meta because I don't care. Like I want to be good with this deck. I like this deck. I like the mechanic and how it lets me play. Sometimes I'll get put up against someone I just won't win. Like I can't win.
Yeah.
You just have the cards that I won't win this game. But I'll give them a really good run for their money, and like I'll make them play in ways that they probably didn't expect to have to play, which I like. But so I'd like to actually see you like play it just once, or like watch me play a game just like that. Like I really do think it's a legitimately good game.
I think most fun games are they're too much of a money hole. Like they're looking for the whales. They're looking for the people who are going to dump.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I could see you if you got hooked on it. I could see you dumping money into it, and you'd be probably pissed about it afterwards.
The fun game that I played within the last 3 years, probably the one, was there was a Star Wars Galaxies game.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that one's making money.
I bet it is, because there was.
Is that the one where you build a base?
No, you have like a squad of people, and then you're fighting through waves of enemies, and then whatever it is.
Yeah.
I played it for a while. I played it basically to the end of where they stopped giving you stuff. I never spent a dime in it.
Yeah.
And then it was like you're looking in the store, and they're like, you can buy Darth Vader for $100.
Fuck off.
And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
It was like $25 to buy like a low level ass Jedi. It was like $5. It was like, and it wasn't even cool. It was lame as fuck to get like a basic ass character, or you could. And some of the things were like it was impossible to grind for. Like, you just would never do it.
Yeah.
That's one thing you're gonna have to run into with a kid. Like dealing like, Dad,
I
want this. It's $20.
I'm gonna sit him down and be like, okay, I just need to explain to you real quick exactly how long it's gonna take and why you wouldn't, and you're not actually having fun here.
You're paying to like play less of the game.
But Johnny has it.
Yeah, well, Johnny's parents are imbeciles.
Yeah.
And I know you don't understand that right now, but what you need to know is that adults aren't always smart.
Back almost never.
Yeah.
Then he goes to school the next day. My dad said your dad's an imbecile.
Well, my daddy has a big gun.
Yeah, you gotta move from Polk County. You gotta start
Polk County.
What does imbecile mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know ignoramus because I go to Cracker Barrel, but
yeah, I'm just playing dumb. Yeah, alright. Did we ever get to your week?
I mean, Hearthstone, I guess. Other than that, it's been the hit Netflix series Altered Carbon, which is a sci-fi, dystopian, cyberpunk television show, which I guess is based off a series of books I've never heard of. But apparently the books are very good.
What are the books called?
I think Altered Carbon, I'm not sure. I didn't look them up, but they are based off some series of books.
Okay.
It's not great. I know a lot of people really like it. That's cool. Go like it. To me, it almost feels like, and this is probably unfair, but it's like someone looked at Game of Thrones. Like, let's make a sci-fi that. So it has like all the bullet points. Like, people are definitely fucking. There's action. There's a lot of sort of interpersonal.
Are we seeing the fucking? Or...
Yeah, there's these. I've seen a lot of butts, both man butt and woman butt.
Titties, no.
Oh, titties for sure.
Fuck yeah.
Some strips too.
Hey, I'm gonna go watch some Altered
How many
Carbon.
dollars? How many dollars?
Maybe one.
Really?
Not too much dollars.
On Netflix. That's
I think they're just pretty much whatever's good.
But for them.
Yeah. So I will say
when a movie shows a
have
dong, okay, they got balls to pull that out there.
Well,
there's a big
usually
subset,
below the dong.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a big subset of the population that may just walk out of the room at that point because they ain't no queers.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not great. The setting is fantastic. I think a lot of the cast, just in terms of like, they're cool. They're good to watch on screen. They have a cool presence about them. I think is good. But the minute any character opens its mouth, it just hurts so much.
Actor's fault, writing's fault, both.
I think a little column A, a little column B, especially with the lead actor. The lead actor's not great, but also that script's garbage. So it's for the actor, I forget his exact name. He's in Suicide Squad. He was also RoboCop in the newest RoboCop. I think he was like the army guy in Suicide Squad. Whatever.
Is it Clint Eastwood's son?
No, but he looks kind of like him, a little bit taller. But he plays like just a wet blanket, like a very wooden character, very like just deadpan delivery to the point where like there was a few scenes I was like, is he drunk or something? I don't. Does he not care? It seems like a big thing, but also like just the way the character's written, I can see why that choice was made. Some of the dialogue scenes are so awkward. Like I could shoot something very similar right now with very little effort. Like, yep, it was that awkward. Like that matches up perfectly. It just seems like a really great big production that 2 or 3 people needed to do more work on. The director and the writers, like they needed to get in a room and like, you gotta spend a few more months in here because everyone else is on their game. Set design fantastic, graphics fantastic. Even some of the themes presented are super cool sci-fi themes. It's just they don't have whatever, like the same like Westworld. Like Westworld, there was a lot of cool sci-fi themes. You're going into like AIs that are becoming sort of self-actualized and their own sort of thing and self-discovery and all this. And the themes, and they were handled very well. Here, interesting themes, handled not that great.
It's almost like they had resources that they allocated like too many points to certain categories and they forgot to put any in writing.
Yeah.
Like, shit.
I'd be curious to see like how quick the production is, because it does feel like, I'm sure the book wasn't written to become a Netflix series, but like this Netflix was like, we have $5 billion to spend this year on new content, which I think is about the amount they've said, which is a fuckload of money. And they're like, all right, let's look for properties. They found their property. Hey, tons of fucking sci-fi. People like it. Let's do it. And then, I don't know, however long the production took, they just didn't spend enough time because it's just rough. It's really rough. A lot of fans seem to be really enjoying it. It seems to be getting really good reviews for the most part. So I'm sure there'll be a next season. But
yeah, I'll say you still haven't deterred me. I mean,
I'm gonna finish it, so I don't know what that says about me.
I really respect y'all's opinion on things, so like I feel like I kind of fall where you guys fall, but I also still like to get that firsthand, like,
this is go for it.
I think when it comes to television shows, I'm much more discerning. I do not want, especially when a movie or when a TV show has bad writing, that's something that's going to bother me the entire time.
Super bad, man.
It's going to bother me. And a TV show, if you're getting invested, it's probably a 10-episode season. It's probably 10 hours. Like, if I see a bad movie and I'm watching it, like, the writing's not great, and it's over in 2.5 hours, 2 hours. Like, that's a lot easier. Like, fuck, I wasted my time. I'm not going to go dive in for 10 hours. I don't watch TV shows, probably mostly for that reason, especially Netflix. A lot of those TV shows don't have great writing. Stranger Things 2, maybe controversial opinion. Like, Stranger Things 2 was fucking weak, dude.
I thought it was entertaining and fun. Like, maybe not super smart, but I thought I was entertained. And
they just try to dive in on that cash cow. That's Stranger Things.
Well, I'm sure there's definitely... it's definitely not the most amazing thing I've ever seen, but in terms of just like a fun 80s thing, I'm cool with Stranger Things on its current pace. I'm not really... Maybe. The same way like Westworld, I'm not that invested into it, so I can just kind of roll over like, yeah. Altered Carbon takes me out of it so much.
I feel so different about Westworld.
Really? You don't like Westworld?
No. Wait, maybe I misunderstood what you just said. I love Westworld.
I love Westworld.
Okay, cool.
That's what Westworld's my shit. Now I was saying I am super invested in Westworld as compared to Stranger Things. I'm not. Yeah. So I'm able to kind of take a step back and like, hey, roller coaster ride. She has powers. Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I watched a couple interviews with the guys who wrote Stranger Things, and it's like
the brothers or whatever.
Yeah, they got picked up, and they got a bigger budget for season 2, so they made some of the things more theatrical, like the big bad monster. Like they had the budget to do kind of a more like in season 1, it's essentially take Jaws, but Jaws is now an alien.
Was it even written to be more than one season? Because it doesn't seem like it.
I don't know if they talked about that, but like some of the things that they talk about were really interesting. You guys probably like the interview, like the radio mechanic. They really love that because like
I just like the aesthetic.
It's 80s technology, and they're like, it's easy to write in. Like, why didn't they just like text them? Instead, they can be like, oh, the radio's not working. Like,
that's why so many horror movies are old. Like, or even like 10 or 20 years back.
They don't work anymore. But it just seems like it kind of like a Star Wars effect. Like, oh, so many people love the first season. Let's get to the lowest common denominator of what made that show.
I think there's definitely a huge danger of that happening, of each successive season being a big drop in quality. Not Walking Dead levels, but definitely on that track. Yeah. But people still support it because they love it so much.
Yeah.
Love it for like the fandom of it, but not for the actual product, really. Like you hear people going, like even Star Wars fans, like they're hearing all these announcements of Star Wars movies, like, yeah, maybe when Star Wars out. Like, I think about, like, fatigue's definitely a thing, but also I think that comes from just not the products being that good. Like, if every product was a banger, like a real, something that did something brand new, I don't think fatigue would be a thing.
Yeah, I also think reinventing yourself is a problem, though. Like, I think that's why, what's it called? The spy English kid movie. Kingsman. I got it fucking lost last time. Kingsman 2 didn't play as well, but I think that's because they didn't try to reinvent themselves. They did something fun and original the first time, and they tried to continue that wave. They tried to ride that wave, and people were like, it's lost its novelty and charm.
Did Matthew Vaughn direct that or produce it?
The second one? I don't know.
I'd be curious about that, too, because that director has he has a track record of amazing first movies and not great second movies.
Yeah.
That director is A+. I'd be curious if he just ditches his... Because he did Kick-Ass 2, that same director. Yeah. Kick-Ass 2 wasn't that great.
Yeah.
So I'd be curious if that's just like a thing he does. He's almost like J.J. Abrams. He'll jump in, do a thing. He's like, all right, you guys handle it. I'm gone.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't pay that much attention to directors and stuff, but I don't know. I think there's something to be said with, like, almost... I think this is something Jimmy might say. R.I.P. Jimmy.
Might have said.
Yeah, he might have said, like, once you start out, like, if you like something for what it was, like, you can't keep expecting it to be more and more each time, or you can't expect it to reinvent itself and become a brand new amazing thing. And I know that's not what you expect, but, like, I do feel like there is this, like, subconscious, like, we build it up in our mind, like, Walking Dead season 1, pretty good, and then there's almost nowhere for them to go, so they had to keep writing more and more extreme plots. And I mean, it's based off the comics. So
sometimes you just need to let it go. Like, there's a natural end to everything, and sometimes a property is going to reach that. And what you see a lot nowadays is like,
no, money steps
we
in.
Need the money.
Yeah,
we got the money coming. We've got to keep going for it. Oh, we need another season. That's where I see a lot of shows and a lot of movies going nowadays. It's like, I'm looking at Pacific Rim 2, talking to you, Pacific Rim 2.
Yeah.
You look like Transformers, and it's fucking sad. They took a pretty unique property and turned it into something that I think the mainstream's going to get behind. They're like, okay, who's that guy from Star Wars? John Boyega. Okay, get him. We'll put him in it too. It's Idris Elba's son. Okay. And then now we have 4, and they've got Transformers graphics, and they look kind of like Power Rangers as well.
They can morph together.
Yeah,
it's almost
robot.
like putting together puzzle pieces that they already had, like on standby. Like, okay, we'll do that. It's almost like they're like, all right, what's our rising action? Okay, we got big explosion. Father character dies. This one, like we choose this one. It's like South Park, the Family Guy manatees with balloons. Yeah, it feels like that.
Yeah, the future for television for me in my perfect world would be HBO-esque 10-episode seasons.
HBO kills it every time. I'm not sure like how they do it, how they get their talent, but almost all their series, even if I'm not into them, like I don't like girls mostly off premise and performances, but you hear the dialogue, like okay, someone is trying. Like there's something different here.
Yeah. Well, I just mean like I have the attention span for like a 10-hour show, or a 10-hour like. If I'm really passionate about a movie, I wish it was longer, like a 10-hour movie. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like essentially, that's what like a miniseries does. Is like, oh, it's just we broke up this really long movie and made it into a really great show.
You should watch The 10th Kingdom.
Good God.
VHS.
I can't watch that movie.
7.5 hours of quality content.
Is it actually quality content?
I'm getting flashbacks.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
It was like,
but what I'm talking about, like
multiple VHS set,
like
which I'd never seen before.
My sister's favorite movie.
See,
it's fucking 7 hours.
You're kind of down on the last season of Game of Thrones, which I think is appropriate. Yeah. Like I don't think it's the best, but like imagine watching shows like, and every time they have the hitting power of the end of season 1 of Game of Thrones, like spoiler alert, Ned dies. Like or is that season 2? I think
season
it was
1.
Season 1. Yeah, so like at the end of season 1, I knew for a fact Sean Bean's character was going to be rescued somehow. I didn't read the book, so I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
But like I knew like there's got to be something like Joffrey's gonna say wait. He's gonna
some
like,
sort of MacGuffin.
Yeah, and then it just didn't happen, and like it hit me so hard. That was my favorite character, and for probably everybody's almost favorite character from season 1, and just gone. I was like, well, we're not gonna probably see much of him anymore. Like I love that kind of stuff, and you don't see it very often anymore. They don't kill off characters because they create a character that people are invested in, and they don't want to deter people from getting away from the show.
They're definitely in a hole right now when it comes to that, or they're going to be just because. Yeah. Like for instance, when Jaime didn't die, like okay, well Jaime's gonna make it to the end. Like they're just at this point in the story where everyone's kind of Superman a little bit, at least relative to how it started.
All of these TV shows have kind of forced me to my current position on all movies is I want the villain to kill everybody. I want them.
I think
every fucking TV show, I don't care what it is, I want the villain to win. It's a video game, it's a movie. I want them all to die.
I think film isn't a much I think nowadays it's the best time to be anything right now to watch, play video games, watch TV shows, watch film. But I think comparatively, TV shows are fucking nailing it, even if you're not super into what's hot right now. Film, I feel like I'm diverging from the mass in a big way because I'm not a film snob. I'm not watching French foreign films that don't have any English subtitles, but I also don't like, for the most part, a lot of the standard fare. So I'm in this weird middle ground, and I feel like on this side, someone has forgotten how to make movies, and I just don't like these guys because they're snobby. But to these guys, I'm in this weird middle ground where I like very few movies, it seems like nowadays.
Well, to me, for movies, it's like they forgot how to develop characters. And to be fair, it's very hard to develop a character that you really care about in 2.5 hours.
It's like they haven't even tried, though. It's like it's a whole brand new thing where standard movie rules don't happen. Like, I can watch an old 90s, schlock fest, but it still follows, certain developmental... I'll be bought into the character because they presented me with the character, whereas a lot of the new stuff nowadays, there's none of that. It's gone... we talk about Star Wars a lot because it's
exactly what I was
it's the thing everyone talks about, but they're all still strangers to me, except for, I guess, Kylo a little bit. But even then, a little bit with Daisy Ridley's character.
Yeah.
Ren? Yeah, Ren.
Right.
There's just no development. There's no... And they're like, oh, am I going to care about when they die? When John Boyega was going through the laser thing, I was like, yeah, fine, I guess.
Do it, baby.
Yeah, I saw you run through a desert a few times. That was interesting, I guess. I think you like Ren. Cool. Blatt.
Or the Chinese lady.
Yeah, the Chinese lady.
Yeah, now they kissed.
Oh, please introduce more characters.
Yeah, exactly.
Please, I'm dying to meet someone new that.
We'll get 5 minutes. We've got to introduce those even lesser characters so they can die.
Yeah.
But there's something I'm missing because there's a ton of people that are into it, so they're being entertained.
Dumb people.
That's why I want to. When I'm frustrated, that's when I want to dismiss it down
people.
to. Yeah. I don't know. Like, there's. I understand why people don't like Blade Runner. It is a slower film, but I don't understand how they can then point to this, which it feels like it has no substance, even though it's shorter. And they're like, this was amazing. Like, it's been a problem since honestly maybe Transformers 2. Like, that's where it started. Like,
the beginning. The original.
I was like, I'm not crazy
that was
about
when the
this.
seed was planted.
To the start.
Yeah. We gotta get a time machine and kill
Michael Bay.
Kill Michael Bay before Transformers 2.
Who's the Scientology guy? The main...
Tom Cruise.
No, L. Ron Hubbard, but also...
Yeah.
His book it came out a long time ago. Had the sniper from Saving Private Ryan. Shit, no one remembers this. Battlefield Earth. Like, I'm curious if we had a Battlefield Earth, you didn't change any of the script or anything, just change updated graphics, would that just hit so fucking hard now? Because that was a garbage-ass movie with garbage characters. Like, do people just not care about that, and they're caring about something else that I don't? Like, I don't know what it is.
I know.
I feel disconnected.
Here's a fun little
There's
story.
a formula. It's like you can see it.
That's what I feel like.
It's like
yeah.
all the movies are cookie cutters. Same thing and with all the series, like
just change the backdrops.
Whether it's Marvel, whether it's Star Wars, whether it's a Pacific Rim 2, which I know is going to be bad, whether it's one of the million kids movies out there, they all seem to follow the same general pattern. At least all the ones that are kind of hitting mainstream.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you affect a character in a permanent way, I appreciate it. Like even like. So, like, the Marvel movies are super predictable, but at least Thor lost an eye in the last one. Like,
I think they've gotten better since Civil War, to be honest.
Okay.
I didn't care about Thor Ragnarok even a little bit.
I haven't seen Thor yet. I know he lost an eye.
Yeah, I thought it was a good movie.
That or he just thought eye patch.
I thought it was entertaining. I was entertained. I don't think it was a great movie. I was very entertained.
It was less than Guardians of the Galaxy 2 for me. That's kind of where I was at on it.
Yeah, but higher than... Well, that's... I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but for me, less than Guardians of the Galaxy 2, higher than any of the other Marvel movies.
Maybe.
I think Civil War maybe top for me.
Doctor Strange is also...
I don't really like Doctor Strange.
It was good.
I was fine with Doctor Strange, along with everything else.
It was real good.
And Thor 2 at the very bottom. Because Thor 2 is garbage. That's the worst film. I hate that film so much.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about Ragnarok for a second just to piss me off.
Dark World.
Yeah.
God, I was physically angry watching that movie.
Yeah. Do you guys want to take a break real quick?
Yeah, let's take a break. Let's take a break and then go to the hat.
I gotta eat.
Oh yeah. And we're back. So let's pull a few slips of paper out of the hat. Hopefully get something interesting.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah, well, let's go until we get something interesting.
Yeah.
I'll be the judge of what's interesting.
Should we all have our own question, or all of us answer the same?
I think we all answer the same. I think we could see.
Oh, you want to do one each, maybe?
Yeah, we could. Yeah. Is this one or is this two? There you go.
I'll allow one of you guys to go first.
Is yours correct?
Hey.
Mine's not great.
This one's pretty good. I think we may want to end on this one though.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Let me read this one.
Maybe we start with mine then. The little voting. Voting thing here.
Do you want to read them off, or do we?
No.
Okay.
So mine just says,
Dick.
Well, how much would it cost for dick sucking? I don't know.
So I'm guessing how much money am I going to get paid to suck a dick?
I believe that is the spirit of the question.
Yeah, I don't think that idea was fully formulated.
I want to say that it doesn't include enough information. Who's dick?
Yeah.
What type of dick sucking?
I think that's
If
maybe
someone got a bust. Like, what are we at here?
I don't think the author took it this way, but I think you don't know. I think you have to operate on as much information as that paper contains.
You will suck any dick
for
any amount of
Well, it's not any dick, it's just a dick. Who knows what that dick is?
Is it clean?
It could be. We don't know.
That's the problem here.
Currently, it's a dick.
Well, maybe we should establish some ground.
I don't think you do.
Well, if you do
I think that's the question.
If that happens,
changes the nature of the question.
I think it goes up to so much money it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Dick.
Throwing it out there like that, I believe that the idea how scarring it could be is just it's too.
The main
you
thing
can't
I'm
leave
worried
that to chance. You can't like if someone we've talked if Walt Disney were to walk in here right now with all his money after hearing our podcast and know our standards, like he could bring like the dirtiest dick, and we'd have to. I mean, we've already told him our price, so he'd probably haggle us because it's Walt Disney. So we might get haggled down. We might even be sucking dick for $10,000 less than we originally planned. I
that would be zero. God damn it. Oh, I was thinking like $10,000 for a clean dick.
No fucking
you don't think
way.
$10,000
No
in this weird alternate universe. Who's laying down 10 G's for dick sucking?
Someone has paid $10K for a dick suck at least.
Yeah, it'd be like Trump or something. Like, yeah, it's definitely not like your average Joe.
We're not at the top of the threshold here.
You don't have any magic dick powers?
For any dick, I'm not sure though.
For any, yeah.
Yeah, I think we should answer it both ways though. I think it should be any dick and then a
because there's a point at which any dick.
Yeah,
it becomes.
I think my price point is unattainable for any.
Yeah.
For any dong.
Yeah.
Well, it depends. Let's run it down, right? What's your chance of getting like HIV? Probably pretty low, right? Probably.
It's any dick.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Like, so it's an HIV-ridden dick. Like, will you get HIV?
So now you're saying no diseases, but I'm already.
Well, no, I'm curious.
If I'm on the any dick train, we're already in the darkest.
I'm playing odds right now. Like, let's say worst case scenario HIV dick. What's the chance of me getting?
Is that worst case scenario?
I don't know. What else is there?
I don't know because I mean with modern medicine,
you can live forever.
Not forever, but I think that now if you take your medicine with HIV, I mean it's still not great,
they say like the same lifespan.
Yeah, the same lifespan.
I don't know. Do you want to go out right now? Just hit the town.
See what's up.
Hang with some HIV people.
It's Valentine's Day.
Yeah, no hate for anyone who has contracted HIV. I'm more talking about lot people, that sort of thing. Which again, also they're down on their luck too. Sorry, it's just there's a risk thing there. I don't want to buy medication.
This is a weird question. Kyle means no for us.
Yeah,
neither do I.
I don't have great health insurance right now, so this would be difficult.
Yeah. Those meds could be tough to come by.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I'd have to go to Mexico periodically.
I don't know.
I think worst case scenario, you get murdered whilst doing this.
Well, this is why I think you have to eat. So let's say you're going to get HIV by this. So there's a life-changing thing that must equal life-changing amount of money. Which, I don't know, it probably in the millions. Maybe not even double digit. I'm not sure.
Think about it, like once you sucked your first dick, like you might as well just keep going.
I mean, if they're going to pay me $5 million per dick suck, yeah. I'll get on that train for fucking, 20 minutes or something, if that? Hey, I need $5 million. Hey, watch the Rugrats. I'll be right back.
Are you talking separate dicks, or are you talking one dick that you have to suck multiple times? Because now you're working a lot harder on that second go around for the same $5 million.
Are you, or have you gotten better?
Is it enough to make $5 million not $5 million anymore? Because
I mean, it depends. Because if the first one you get in in 5 minutes, but then the second one you're doing 25 minutes,
very respectful of it and doesn't throw it in your face, like, hey, but.
And honestly, at that point, I need to watch how I spend my money. At that point, if I'm just burning through $5 million on the regular,
well, you're trying to fill that hole.
Yeah. I think it'll be cheaper than $5 million to fill.
Well, I was just talking about how many $5 million can you accrue in 30 minutes. Maybe if you're not doing the same guy, if you have multiple customers paying you $5 million per dick,
I would turn it into a really expensive.
You could actually make turn a pretty decent profit there.
I think you just do one that's a decent profit, but yeah, I guess if I'm doing some weird 30-minute
special. If you can get through 10 guys, 3 minutes a dick.
It's like a weird,
sorry, $50 million.
You're locked in the air chamber where you're trying to catch tickets, but instead it's just like a box of glory holes.
Yeah, I mean you're almost like putting yourself in the military of dick sucking for 30 minutes and seeing what your service you can acquire.
I think that's my number. I think
$5 million.
For any dick, yeah, that would be the lowest.
For any dick.
Any dick. Because I pick, let's say, worst thing, HIV, $5 million, I can handle it and have an amazing ride.
Alright, but let's just think about this.
Magic Johnson's doing fine.
I don't think you're considering unhealthy. Yeah. I think you're thinking about unhealthy person, but what about a boil pus, nasty?
I'm less concerned with that just because it is short term. It is it is going to be a dark moment, but it's a moment. I'm thinking about the stuff I'm walking away with.
I think you could.
I think fear factor is a factor for me here.
Yeah. So fear factor, I would definitely do. Was it $50,000 for that show?
$50,000 for
I'll eat some bugs. Yeah, fuck it. No. Maybe I'll like it. Maybe I won't. I'll have $50,000.
No, I'm just real worried about. I'm sure Skylar in her brief time is becoming a nurse could probably tell some horror stories about some.
It is directed at the mic is directed at you. Just heads up. If you got some weird dog ASMR right there.
Baron over licking my
hand. If I can hear it, they definitely hear it.
Enjoy that sound.
Just take it out, baby.
Yeah.
Hey, what were you saying about dick sucking?
I just think that there's probably some real twisted stuff out there.
I'm sure. That's what $5 million. I feel okay about $5 million. Again, I'm gonna go in hey, $20 million. I'm gonna haggle. But if it lands on $5 million, I'm like, all right, we can.
That's your base.
I think so. Yeah, let's do it.
Your floor.
Yeah, for a known dick. See, I feel like back in the day, it definitely would be 10 grand, but money does change things. Like as you actually earn it, maybe 5x that or something. I don't think $1 million. I don't think $1 million is my baseline though. I think it's under a
dick.
For like a known dick.
Yeah.
Like I know everything that's going on and I'm cool with it.
Like this is a dick that has passed
my inspection. Yeah, my cert process.
Yeah, they have some documentation.
JD Power and Associates. Yeah.
4 out of 5 doctors would approve this dick.
I think I'd be fine with. I mean, yeah. Think about like what they say. Most male porn actresses doing gay porn aren't actually gay. They're doing it for like 500 or something like that. Like that's their, and they're getting stuff in them. I don't want that. So, well, I guess I am kind of. It's my mouth.
That's happening.
But yeah, but it's bigger. You know, if they tested for prostate there, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. Like it wouldn't be a big thing. So I think I'm okay there. And maybe 50 grand. I could see that. 50 grand's a lot. That saves, and that's the thing too. When I look at it, it's like, how much time am I saving? Like 50 grand worth of time. That's a lot of time. Like imagine being on your deathbed, like you get like 10 minutes back, but with 50 grand, it's like hours, days, weeks back. Like what if I told you, like you're the Grim Reaper, you could have 12 more weeks. Then he just plops it on the table. Like, this is how you get it. For 12 more weeks of life, like yeah, probably.
You think?
Yeah, well, maybe not a deathbed.
Everyone knows. See, that's the thing too, because like everyone's,
fuck them.
You just got a windfall.
I get to live longer. They can go fuck themselves.
A windfall of 50K.
They don't care about me anymore. I'm old. They just visited because I'm gonna die. That's it. They don't ever show up any other time. Fuck them.
Granddad sucked a dick.
Yeah, he said, "Fuck you. I don't care." What are you gonna do? Post on your Facebook too about it? Like no.
So it's like a weird Christmas song. Granddad got run through by the Reaper. It's fucking.
I think 50.
Running gangbangs at the nursing home. Now all of a sudden Kyle's Methuselah.
And what a banger you could go on, especially if you got money with it by the Grim Reaper. Hey, 12 weeks left, and here's 50 grand. Like, old guy, I don't know, go to Vegas, just fucking live it up for 12 weeks. Die of a heart attack in the middle of like 5 Russian prostitutes. Just go at that point. But yeah, 50 grand and 5 million. I feel pretty good about that.
Cameron, where are you from the numbers?
I think I would go any dick. I guess 5 million does seem like the territory for any dick.
It's one of those things like if I walk away with something bad, I can handle it, and then some by sure. So I'm coming out ahead no matter what.
I almost think that it would take for any dick, even that for a dick, a known dick or known quantity, that
was known that like you approve of, like you're cool with the check marks.
I think it would take you to the point where it would just affect you too deeply. I'm looking at the ramifications of the stick. I'm not looking.
I think I could separate myself.
Are you talking about a known as in you know the person, or a known as in
so everyone's watching this?
Like, well, no, but like as a married man, like my wife would then know that I didn't suck the dick, and then she would probably cause some rifts. So I'm more weighing.
That question has to be put into the old basket here. How much would it take for you to let your wife suck another man's dick?
That's higher numbers.
No, plus, there's only 2 of us that are affected.
All the money in the world, and I murder him.
Yeah.
Some people like that.
Except some people enjoy it.
Yeah,
who knows?
Yeah, some people might do it for free.
Yeah, murder him.
That's a more baser instinct I think you're asking about that I don't think any amount of money
look at that.
counteracts for me.
You found it. Good for you, buddy. So yeah, I think taking all the ramifications into account, it kind of that number creeps up again.
You could just keep it a secret, like all
but
healthy relationships.
That's the question.
I think you could.
You've got a windfall of cash.
You'll have to separate yourself from it. Well, yeah, that's gonna be.
You got a huge windfall. You're trying to hide this money. Like what do you got?
Well, 50 grand.
Your dick money's out in the backyard, but it's like it comes to you in your dreams. Like
I think bring your price down lower for known dick.
So I think what we have to assume here is that the person that we're setting this price for is going to pay it, because otherwise it's not like we're posting our services on the internet and like we're trying to beat other people's prices. Like we don't want to price ourselves out of sucking the dick.
Yeah, we're approached by like a butler.
Yeah, like someone who's like
Master Wayne.
This dude wants you.
Yeah.
What's it gonna be?
And just you.
Yeah, and so for me, I think that makes my price closer to 50.
$50K, good for you.
No, 50 mil for Annie.
I was hoping for dollars.
For Annie. Maybe even 100.
Keep that.
Yeah.
And then for Annie, I'd say 100. I feel pretty good about
That's
100.
a lot of money. I think they're going to walk away.
Well, and therefore, they don't get the service that they wanted.
That's like an entire career as like CEO of Citibank right there in terms of money.
I kind of get where I was coming from. I think there's a single squeaker in that toy. He found it. Good for you, Baird.
Yeah.
Good for you, Baird. Cool boy. So yeah, it's a life-changing event. I think it needs to be a truly life-changing.
You don't think you can separate? Like, there's food you don't like, right? That you eat.
But I don't. Like, Scott made some yogurt thing the other day, and I like gagged the entire time. I couldn't.
And that's literally what you'd be doing.
I had to scrape it off because I couldn't make it through. She wasn't paying me $50,000 to eat it, which I probably would have happily gobbled it down. So maybe that says something.
I've licked a guy's nipple before. I did not like it.
That doesn't seem.
I could lick either of y'all's nipple right now and not give a fuck.
Really?
As the person getting my nipples, like
a dick is just a bigger nipple. Just think of it that way. Probably.
There's
I don't know.
something going on with dicks. Y'all's nipples ain't done nothing in years.
Did they do it as a young boy?
I don't fucking
maybe our
know.
entire
I missed out on something. Yeah.
Y'all's nipples haven't had a purpose. Like they ain't done nothing in your entire life. Dicks be doing shit. Dicks been places.
Well, okay. How much to suck?
Dicks be stank.
Let's put it this way: how much to suck on a dildo?
Used?
What just like a dildo? Or just a dildo, just plain dildo.
I mean, probably like a solid dare, maybe.
Yeah, like a double dog.
Yeah, like a double triple maybe.
So it's not like shape, so you can get past shape and stuff like that, right? Just put it all together.
To me, it's the idea of completion.
Oh, you're just scared of that? I mean, let's face it. We see many porn movies. All people are scared of that. See them squinting real hard and also trying to smile.
Well, I mean, we also didn't clarify. Are you having to swallow here, or is this like?
Fuck that,
I don't think so. Just a suck dick. So go.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
And this doesn't say anything about
not to completion or whatever.
See, we're filling the question with our own.
Well, it's just literally what's on the paper. But I think it's just to be polite. You probably should do it to completion.
Yeah.
You don't want a bad name. Yeah. Well, I don't know. It depends how shrewd of a business person you are, I guess. Maybe they'll get you for round 2 for a little bit less to completion. Yeah. But I think $5 million is reasonable. And I think I could walk away. It will take some time for sure. Like that first week, I'm going to be upset. I'm going to have weird dreams.
It might change you to the point that you'd be upset that you couldn't get another $5 million. Like, wow, that was the easiest $5 million.
Oh, for sure. I guarantee that's what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
Like, that's the easiest job
so
I've ever
now
done.
all of a sudden you're sucking dick for nothing. Cause
you're lowering your price trying to get that same high. You're chasing that.
Well, it depends how much you're lowering it. Like $4 million? Like,
yeah.
Maybe for second. I don't know. It depends. I have to go through the first one first. I have to take the first step in that descent.
What if you sucked the dick and you realized it just wasn't all that bad? And then now you're...
Oh, that you loved it? What if you loved it?
What if we could love it? But what if it was
turn gay? That's what we're getting to, right?
No, it wasn't that. It was like...
Would you turn gay for $5 million?
No, this is just easy money. And now
you're offering blowies for $500, like out behind
just because it's
Staples or some shit.
Yeah.
I like to think that the one... It's because this isn't a lifetime of building. This is one dick, $5 million. So unless I'm approached with another similar situation, I don't think I'll descend that route.
Yeah. What if you spent all your money, and so now you're back, you're penniless?
Get a job or something. This isn't like a hooker and I'm trying to get out of the game, but it keeps pulling me back in. I got a one-time deal for $5 million. I think you can walk away.
Hold on. You are a one-time deal for $50,000, might I remind you.
That's for a known dick.
Exactly.
A known quantity dick.
Exactly.
That's different, though.
Well, and I think that also you got to think about, are they putting their hands on your head? Are they
Ugh.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff here, man. We got to dissect this question.
Don't touch me.
Yeah.
I think
there's someone caressing the back of your head.
I think the dick sucking is the main thing at play here. I don't know.
I don't think so. I think there's a whole psychology about losing control, that's the back of your head.
I don't think it makes it that much worse. If anything, we're talking a couple percentage points. You're sucking dick. That's definitely the thing. It was fun until he put his hands on my head. I don't think that happens.
I don't know. I'll have to ask the other people that have been paid $5 million to suck a dick.
Yeah, we need to find that group.
Yeah,
he's already.
We need a focus group for this.
No one except for like fucking Margot Robbie is getting paid like maybe a little bit more, 50 grand. I don't know how many people are getting paid for 50 grand per blowjob.
I don't think she's getting paid to get blowjobs.
No, I'm just saying if you would. Yeah. I've been filling the list of 50 grand blowjob people.
Stormy Daniels managed to pull off a cool 130K.
That was hush money. She rolled that into another thing, which go for her.
Okay, yeah, that's
right.
Should we move on?
Yeah.
Well, we can talk about this all day.
Do we get all the numbers? So I think 50 grand for known dick, 5 million. I feel.
I think a known dick is probably about 5 mil.
That's high.
I don't care.
For just skin.
Okay. Known. An unknown dick, I think, is up there. Same with you, Alex.
Unlimited amount, you could never do it.
It could be like 50 million. That could be. At what point does the money become nothing?
By the way, I'm not against getting paid 50 million. This is like how much the floor.
No, you chose your price. We're finding ourselves worth over here.
Understand.
You don't value yourself.
Yeah.
I think they walk away and then I get 3 dicks. I get 15 million. Go fuck yourself, poor people. I'm among the elites.
I would be mad at. I'd be like, Kyle would be that friend like, man. I've been out here struggling my whole life. Kyle sucked 3 dicks.
Yeah, exactly. And you try to throw it at me. Yeah, but you sucked 3 dicks. Yeah, motherfucker. Make it rain.
I would be on so many YouTube videos. How would you like to earn 50 million?
I'll produce my own rap album. I suck dick for 5 mils. 3 times. It'll be a 3-album discography. Yeah. I'll have no shame. Think what you could do with 5 million. You invest that. What is it, 1%? How much is 1%? $50,000?
You get all the Bitcoin?
Yeah, you just normal boring shit.
Yeah.
You get 1% a year.
I would definitely. I thought about this a lot in the last 3 seconds.
Yeah.
I would definitely open up my own mini golf course with the proceeds from this. And I would live my life being on a quaint mini golf course somewhere on the countryside.
Glory holes.
That's a bingo.
Here's the thing. Okay, so you don't suck dick. You're currently where you're at, which I'm sure is fine. But if you suck dick, the world is your oyster. For $5 million, you can do fucking anything if managed right with that. You don't have to work anymore. You can work on literally whatever you want. Your life changes.
I mean, you're assuming here that we behave rationally after we suck the dick.
Exactly. You would be shaken. I believe you'd be shaken.
If we're not rational, then we're sucking dick for $50. What are you talking about?
No, but I mean, people win the lottery all the time. They go bankrupt. What's to say that Cameron doesn't suck?
Yeah, but they're also playing the lottery.
But Kyle, you're also sucking dick for $50,000. That's why I think the base.
That's known dick, though. That's
exactly,
different.
But how does that change? You still don't suck the dick, and you're.
Well, you're talking about 50,000 for like different skin, like putting my tongue on different skin. That's essentially what it is, right? Because there's no risk of anything if it meets all. Like, there's no STDs. He's clean. There's like, so it's probably gonna taste like soap, if anything, like a little bit of Dove mixed with dick, which I'm sure will be exciting to find out. Like, think about it. Any significant other you've been sucking dick, maybe not for free, but for close to it, and they're not crazy about it usually, but they're usually into it for the most part. So 50 grand, it's probably all right. There's probably something to it.
I mean, I didn't press mine so much higher than you. I said 100
million,
100,000.
Oh, for a known dick.
Yeah,
I think it's reasonable. I could change it, sure. Like I said, I'm not coming to the table like. 50,000 lowest I go. Yeah, I'm gonna go up there.
Yeah.
They're gonna know I'm business savvy.
$10. $10 and it's yours. Come on.
Yeah. You're a shrewd dick sucker, Kyle. But you are the best in the biz.
He's like, you say 50,000, he's about to agree to it, and you're like, 40. That's as low as I'll go. You know what? 30.
30. That's a free one. You'll owe me later.
2 for 25. Let's just call it a deal.
Put it on the tab. Yeah. Yeah, I feel okay with that. Who knows? Maybe when I'm staring directly into the eye, maybe I'll feel different.
Yeah.
Like, Kyle, just like the day after, just like I price myself too low.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel good about that. That was a decent question. I'm okay with that.
21 minutes later.
Yeah, that was good shit.
I'll throw it over there.
That may be the best one. I don't know. I liked how that turned out.
Yeah, I don't like my question nearly as much as that.
Oh, let's see.
What's your worst middle school memory?
Phew.
I don't even know what I can drudge up. I feel like mine's just like some bullshit.
Yeah, mine's more just like overall, maybe like
mine's kind of
sadness
sad.
and depression.
Well, yeah, like I think I got bullied in middle school a couple of times, and like I guess one of my life's regrets, I would have loved to go back there and tell, hey, Alex, get in that fight. I was always afraid of being suspended, which is stupid. Like, teach kids not to defend themselves, like, from a moral standpoint. Like, I get it. Like, what's that line? Violence begets greater violence. What was that from?
Yeah.
Like, okay, fine. Like, don't fight. But also have a little self-respect. Alex, go take that punch. Or take the swing, rather. Sure.
There was definitely some moments, but actually, I had a decent time in middle school. I somehow skirted all that. One, I moved to a bunch of different schools, so that was just, hey, new guy. And
I heard he sucks dick for $50,000.
Yeah, $50,000. Gay. And I was
a weird bumper sticker on his car.
And I was only like a year removed from private school, so I was really trying to test my funny muscles. And apparently back then, just like saying penis, like that played pretty well. So I enjoyed middle school for the most part. I guess regret. I don't know. There was a field trip we went on. Actually, okay, there's 2 field trips we went on.
Regret? Is that what this
worst
No, it's not. But I can't.
Worst memory.
That's why I can't think of a super bad one, but maybe a regret is the only thing. There was on the bus ride back, this girl kept kissing my neck, and she was very hot. But I was, I don't know, dumb and in 6th grade. So just like, it's weird. So I wish I was old enough to really take advantage of that mature lady, but that's about it. That's all I can think of.
That wonderful woman.
Yeah. Olivia Colandro.
Pretty woman.
Shout out.
She's sucking a dick for $50,000 right
She's doing, I think she's married now. Go her. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wonder if she kisses neck.
Probably. I can ask him.
I want a piece of his dick.
Yeah, for how much? For
$50,000. Well, yeah, we need to ask it that.
See if we have the same number.
Yeah.
It could have been me.
No,
He just found another guy who sucks dick for the same amount. Sorry.
I could have gave her so much more money.
Yeah. That was my floor. I was going to negotiate higher.
Cookie cutter.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess that would be one.
I think that's fair regrets are fair game. Like, mine's, I don't really care about the bullying that got done. Like, that didn't affect me, really. I just wish I could have fought him. I've never been in a fist fight. I think it would have been a good time in life to try that one out.
I think that may have been my first fist fight, was in middle school.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it turned out well. We actually became friends after that, so.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. I could have had another friend. School board. Fuck you guys.
I had very few social skills in middle school. I don't. And thinking back, I don't remember being like bullied per se, but I still had a few moments where it was like, oh, that didn't feel good to be me. Like, so I think someone made fun of my pants one time.
Yeah.
I think they were like,
it was Kyle.
Yeah. No, it was.
If you know the guy's name, I'm impressed.
No, it wasn't anybody that I remember. It was like someone's like, "Hey, those look like girl pants." And I was like, "Oh,
they do. I'm a girl."
And that's when you were probably too young to be like, "Yeah, I stayed over at your mom's house."
Yeah. Well, it was. I was in 6th grade, and I just remember like, I was a kid who had like a fucking watch. You know, it was like timing the bell for like the countdown to the second. I was that kid over there, reading.
Artemis
maybe
Fowl.
It was Goosebumps at the time, so I was probably a little too old for Goosebumps, but I was still fucking going for it. I don't know. I was probably a pretty weird kid. You'd have to ask my peers at the time. So it was definitely. I wasn't the coolest kid in school for sure, and I wasn't a wisecracker.
Also, you weren't in like any clubs or anything, right?
Yeah,
that definitely helped me in middle school.
I wasn't in band. I wasn't in any of that.
Band was the shit in middle school.
Yeah,
that was definitely like you had your own posse.
I transferred middle schools at one point. I don't know. I think I probably had a lot of weird mannerisms as a kid.
I think everyone did.
Kind of like the nerdy kid who still was fairly athletic, so he was popular in a certain sense with some of the kids.
Yeah.
Like kind of the jockier kids, but then didn't really fit in fully with either of the groups.
Yeah, I would say that
I was the nerdy
You're
kid.
very hard to read when I first met you.
Yeah, I was the nerdy kid in alpha class who like always played football. Well, like you had the unathletic kid side of there was 2 fields at Sleepy Hill. You had the unathletic kids over here, and they were like playing with a soccer ball or something, like throwing it because they weren't allowed to have football. And then there was like where I played, it was like me and all of the 8th graders. That's where I rolled over there, at least during my PE group. And then I would go back to my, alpha class, and didn't fit in with them either. It wasn't bad. I wouldn't say I was like super bullied, but I did have my worst moment was probably in 6th grade. So you're kind of new. My birthday is on September 17th, which is pretty close to the start of the school year. So 6th grade, I hadn't been there very long. I didn't know very many people, and my aunt, man, fucking balloons. We got some balloon memories here. Dredge them back up. My aunt had sent me balloons for my birthday, and they had brought them to my class. I'm like, hey, it was like one of those flower delivery places, and when they got there, they were Blue's Clues. And that was fucking devastating. As a kid, 6th grade, kids are fucking.
What does Cameron want to do with these Blue's Clues?
And it wasn't to the in high school. In high school, you could have played it off like, oh fuck yeah, like Blue's Clues. Yeah, there's a joke there. Yeah, like,
in middle school, you're not confident enough.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah. So you're like fucking running with your balloons, like the heckles coming from behind you, and you're just like running through the halls trying to get in the car. I remember I got to the car, and I was just sitting there. I was fucking broken. It was.
Why didn't you let those balloons fly away?
Yeah,
I should have. I was just in shock. It's like the barrage of hate. And I don't remember anyone ever saying a second thing about it. I don't remember it ever coming up again. But for me, it was one of those.
There's someone in the world right now retelling the story like, hey, do you remember when that kid got Blue's Clues balloons in 6th grade?
Oh, Blue's Clues Cameron. How could I forget?
He was devastated. Yeah, there was a few of those moments that stuck out.
That's funny.
Yeah, somehow we let Bear get all of bed to us because we left the door open to the bedroom.
Yeah,
so he's kind of just doing what he wants right now. Sorry about that. All those good sounds you're getting.
Yeah, middle school is just such everything's brand new. Kids are being mean for the first time.
Yeah, so
they don't even have to be
really
inventive.
Testing that muscle out as well. It's not a.
And they can say the smallest shit because you're just so insecure at that point that anything will set you off.
God, that Blue's Clues story is A+.
Hey, but yeah, I had a pretty good time in middle school.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely awkward shit. Like I remember, like my first official girlfriend. I actually had girlfriends in middle school or in elementary school, but this was like, okay, we're gonna kiss now. Like this is serious. Kiss on the regular.
Yeah.
Not just a special event.
Yeah, I went to Lake Gibson Middle School for 6th grade, and then I went to Blake Academy for 7th and 8th.
Mm-hmm.
This Blake Academy was dope. There was like snakes in the classroom. We had a hydroponics lab. Like it was just kind of cool.
That is super cool.
Yeah, there was just like cool stuff going on all the time. And you kept the same teachers each year. You progressed, so like your teacher for 6th grade was
cool.
7th grade and 8th grade in each of the subjects. So there was something pretty cool to that. By 8th grade, all your teachers knew you really well, and they, like all the kids that were going off, they gave predictions for what they thought they were going to go do, which it's not like they were predicting like, well, this guy's going to fail because he's a fucking idiot. But they were like, for me, they thought I would become a sitcom writer, which...
Damn.
I mean, in a way, haven't I? I have my own podcast. But I did study writing in to a degree in college when I was doing copywriting for advertising, which is not writing a show, but it's something that I definitely have an interest in. I'd say that they steered me towards that in a way. It's something that always kind of stuck in the back of my mind. Like, I wonder if I could do that. I mean, Philip, our good friend Philip, always thought like, hey, I should go try to write for SNL, like, because that's just something you go do, I guess. But like, hey, I'll just write for SNL today. But it's nice, like, to have that experience. So yeah, I'd say middle school wasn't so bad.
You had a very nurturing middle school experience. Mine was a little more. It always felt more like the wolves. Like you were always like trying to claw your way up.
Yeah, that's what it was like when I came in, especially because I moved so much. It was all about first impressions. So like I literally had bits. Like okay, I know this works with kids. I know this doesn't work with kids. Yeah. So when I meet someone, like all right, boom, funny stuff. And it was like if I could be funny enough, they won't be mean for the most part.
I don't remember being funny, like actively funny until high school. I don't remember like jumping over that hurdle, like trying to be.
High school was weird. High school, I stumbled. I remember because I tried the same shit, and it was received completely differently in high school. Like we were both in football. I remember telling like some of the same jokes, and they're like, "Wait, you're gay?" I'm like, "No. Let's dial back. This is a joke. Like here's what I'm doing." And that happened multiple times, specifically in football. So I remember feeling like the first few days of freshman year, going like, something's, I don't understand, maybe my delivery's off or something. I'm not sure what's going on.
Couple comedy.
Yeah, I'm like, what's happening? But that was I won't say it was down to a science. I wasn't fucking Bill Burr or anything like that, but it was like, okay, here's my thing, and I'll go do that.
Yeah, I would say my comedies or my comedic stylings have always been a bit drier. So like I never felt like I was the funny person in the class. I was the kind of guy that was making jokes underneath his breath about stuff, and my friends would laugh or we would laugh, but it wasn't like shouting something stupid for like I can't remember the kid that I hate so much from high school.
You always hate those kids. And they end up winning, like, was it...
like best, funniest kid in
the
class.
You motherfucker, you love my comedy. What the hell why are you winning this?
I think one of my...
Jacoby.
It's Brent. Brent was one of the kids I hated. He was a wrestler.
Oh, man.
Oh, George?
Yeah.
He won most comedians?
No, I don't think so, but, like, I just remember there's a couple times where... and these stuck with me, obviously. Like, I would tell a joke and he'd retell it louder and get the laugh. And I was like,
motherfucker. Yeah. That's always the worst.
Yeah, like, you motherfucker.
There was a guy in high school who, like, would come to the door and bark through the crack. It's like, you're like, look at that, like, what are you going to grow up to do, man? He's just like, and walks away.
He went on to write for SNL.
Did you guys win any high school superlatives?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got.
Oh, you did. It was taken away.
What'd you get?
It was biggest turnaround, but then I didn't show up for school multiple times when they tried to get a photograph of me. So it switched to, I think, Nicholas Securis. Shout out.
Good for him.
I got one of the superlatives, so not one of the yearbook ones, but I got most likely to hit Hollywood.
There you go.
Somehow, which I always thought would piss off like the people that were in like in the acting groups and stuff at high school. Like there's this kid that's telling slightly like dry jokes underneath his breath, and they're like he's the most likely, and they're over there busting their ass in the play. Like, ooh, yeah.
I think we got close to superlative. I think we got close, but barely missed out on one of them.
Which one?
It was like biggest bro something or whatever.
Romance?
Yeah, we lost to Cameron Toon and the other guy. Neil Westcott.
Yeah, I did get one. Luckily, in middle school, I got best dressed, which just transitioned into being a queer.
Girl pants. It was your girl pants.
Yeah, no,
of course
gay.
you wear girl pants.
No, you're a gay boy. That was pretty cool to go into a new experience. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I was best dressed because in middle school you can either wear polos or like the t-shirts.
And you wore polos every day?
Oh yeah, that was definitely the thing.
And I did have a necklace, and I believe I had some like.
Was it a seashell necklace?
No.
Okay.
It was one of those ones that was like made of wood.
Okay, interesting.
And I did my hair real dumb, so.
I'm sure it fit the time. I don't know.
Yeah, might have.
You had a pretty good reputation going into high school.
Did I? Good for me.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, not.
I didn't know you couldn't be that great.
Yeah, it was low hanging fruit.
For freshman year, I just thought he wasn't a bros before host guy. That was my first impression of him. Like, oh, I see what's going on. Because I think we all tried to call you over for like a pep rally to be in the section.
That was like the first or second one.
I thought you were.
I was like, I got a girlfriend.
Yeah, and you went with her. I was like, oh, fucking whipped.
You were on the soccer team all 4 years, right?
Yeah.
I always just thought you were a jock until we started playing Ultimate. Like that's. I mean, I'm sorry to say.
That's
like,
late. Yeah.
Yeah, like this wasn't until 2013 that I knew Cameron was into anything other than like sports and stuff. I just didn't know anything about him except for like mildly funny and played soccer because that was the extent of our interaction.
Yeah, I think for me it was mostly the same with Cameron too, except that I knew his group of friends because I was getting in with that group of friends too, and that group of friends was generally known as the funny kids. So I was like, all right, there's something here.
Yeah.
The jackoffs as well, kind of screwed around.
Yeah, which was my crowd.
Some people went one way. Some people started doing a bunch of drugs.
Yeah, it gets dark in that.
It got real sad going back to ninth grade. We better start talking about it. Talk about most depressing middle school memory. Talk about most depressing.
I try to remember like what actually started the relationship. Like I know Mr. Miller's class for chemistry was definitely it.
It was something.
But I wonder what actually tipped it over.
I think you knew Brennan and Dylan and all those guys.
Yeah.
And we ended up we made those T-shirts, and I took your money and didn't give you one.
Yeah.
That was pretty close to the beginning. Obviously, we weren't best buds at that point.
I think that was the last half of freshman year.
Yeah. It was right there at the end. So after that, there was a time you came over and watched me play Sims for an hour. I don't remember why.
I think so.
It was weird.
Was that the same time? Like I tried to get high with Dylan Dowd, attempted.
Yeah.
Got mad.
Yeah. You're like, hey, we're gonna smoke weed over here. I was like, yeah, probably not. See you later.
We walked really far to smoke that dumbass grass. I was very disappointed because at least
did he bring the supply? Was he the supplier? Or
yeah, he definitely was for sure. And at that point, like I wasn't like a Rastafarian like expert on weed, but I smoked my fair share in middle school. So going here, I was like, oh, you got a can? This is a bummer. Also, whatever that is, it's gonna give me a headache. Cool, let's do this. Shout out Dylan Dowd. I'm sure it's gotten better since, but
he's got the best weed now.
Probably, yeah. That's the funny thing. Like even now, like, hey, Kyle, you want to get weed? Like I could probably get weed, but I have zero hookups. Like there's none. Especially coming from like Oregon, where you could just like walk in and like buy it with a credit card.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take 2 weeds, please.
And tell my bank.
Yeah. Report that back to the government. I need to be taxed.
So this is gonna be an interesting one, Alex. I mean, you talked about this. Most awkward sex or sexual encounter story. In parentheses, doesn't have to be your own.
Oh.
So that's a good out.
Yeah, I have a banger for sure for this one. This was my question.
Is it your friend?
It was a person from college that I know.
A person from college, okay.
Yeah. Do you guys want me to go while you guys think, or?
Yeah.
I got a few off the top, so you can go ahead.
I don't. I'll go last.
Right.
I
mean, I don't want to play it up too much.
But I seem like the question. I need to read it.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I do like this.
Can I have it in a sentence, please?
Here, just listen to my story. You'll kind of get where I'm coming from.
Gotcha.
So this is a person that I from college I knew that I lived with. I'll give it away. It was not Drew Miller.
Okay, that's
clear.
Good. Yeah.
So
that narrows it down.
Yeah. So anyway, this guy was a pretty big frat guy. Pretty. I would say he had some womanizing tendencies. But he had this girlfriend that was on and off relationship for a long time. I don't know if they ended up getting back together or not. But this one night or one morning, I come out of my room and he's just making a big old ruckus, and the washing and drying machine is right outside my room, and he's like slamming the lids, and he's like slamming the refrigerator door, and I finally like, all right, better get up, gotta see what's going on. I come out there, he's livid. He's throwing all his sheets in the washer, and he's like throwing. I forget exactly how it happened, but I think he's like, Alex, come look at this shit, and he like walks me over to the trash can. He like pops the lid open. His favorite pink polo shirt is on the top of the pile. Just like, I had to throw my favorite shirt away. And I was like, what happened? And I'm like, I'm still sleeping. I'm like, what happened here? He's like, that bitch threw up all over my room.
Oh.
And she all over my sheets. All over, like, sorry, I gotta rewrite the story a little bit.
Yeah.
At this point, no, his sheets were off the bed.
Okay.
He threw up on my sheets, threw up all over my favorite shirt. I was so mad I punched a hole in my wall last night, and like this dude was jacked. So anyway, I'm just like, wow, like. That's pretty bad, and I think he's probably still hungover, maybe a little drunk. I don't even know if he remembers telling me the story. He's like, yeah, you want to see what the hole? I was like, why not? Like, let's do it. I just got up. So we walk upstairs. Somehow I slept through this, and sure enough, there's a big old hole in his wall. And I'm like, yeah, the apartment complex is gonna be happy about that one.
Yeah.
And then, but this whole time, like, I'm starting to piece together the pieces of the puzzle, and I'm like, what? How could she have thrown up so much that you didn't have time to get her like a trash can, like maybe hold her hair back while she peeks into the toilet? Like, why is it all over your room? Well, I go up to the room, and there's one object that makes the whole story just pop together. There's a box on the floor that's bondage. It's a bondage box, and on each of the four posts of his bed, there are straps. So now the story's coming together. He was bound to this bed.
Oh my god.
And she's throwing up all over him. She's throwing all over his pink shirt, all over the sheets.
Why did he put this shit away?
And he, I don't know, because he's probably still a little bit drunk. And he's just lying there, strapped down, just like getting puked on, and he can't do anything. And I swear to God, there was a human shape of where the puke did not hit because it was being blocked by his body. And I imagine she probably ran to the toilet. He's sitting there probably in this puke, just helpless, yelling probably. And finally she has the time, the clarity to unstrap him, or maybe he I don't think they were broken, so he definitely didn't bust them off. And now he's so mad. He's so mad he's covered in puke, and he jumps up and he punches the wall. Because he's been laying in puke for God knows how long. And he finally punches the wall. And I don't know how it was resolved that night, because he sure as hell didn't wash the sheets, because that was that morning. But his shirt definitely made it to the trash can. It was amazing. God, I love telling that story.
Fuck. I wish you didn't laugh. Got nothing compared to that. No.
Yeah, mine isn't good enough for this. Also, you gotta handle it tactfully, right?
Oh, I mean, your friend.
Oh, fuck, my friend.
Yeah. No, that was just my friend.
Yeah. That was a person from college.
My friend, yes.
Uh-huh.
I wish I had heard from my friend.
Fuck, I don't want to go in after that.
Gimmick before I had to go. I can go, but mine's just...
Okay.
Mine is literally, the phrasing says most awkward sex or sexual encounter, right?
So, yeah. I mean, for me, it was just that story. I imagine me having to learn about that story was awkward, because I don't think he knew that the box was sitting out, or that, he probably didn't think I looked at the bedpost. But yeah, sure enough, there's bondage stuff right there.
That's an incredible story. Yeah. Like a weird, fucked up version of Gerald's game that he just played.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Right. Oh no!
Much shorter runtime, man.
Yeah. I was so as soon as I saw it, I kind of had to do one of those, cover my mouth, because the smile just got so big. I was like, I just got an amazing story.
Some guys would pay for that.
Put that in the story bank.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, they'd probably lay down plastic beforehand, but
they wouldn't put their favorite pink shirt on the ground.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah.
What a fucking horror
I like that I was thinking about that. I was like, how did she have time to throw up everywhere? And that's how. That's definitely how.
Fuck, that's good.
Yeah.
I guess we'll move on to mine.
Yeah.
My friend, it was me. There's a few of them.
I mean, we're adults. Talking about sex is a normal thing. This is it.
I just, if you didn't want to out yourself, it was an option. But.
Yeah, I just think you hate to come at this from a point of view where you're talking judgmentally. It's hard not to when you're talking about something like that, about it being.
It's a
awkward.
fucking weird thing you're doing to begin with.
It was a pure cleanliness issue. That's what it was.
So let's see. There's a few of them. I think Alex has heard one of them, so I'm gonna go with a different one. So. There's one where this is younger Kyle, definitely still getting the lay of the land for sure. And there's this one girl, we weren't really dating, but it was just kind of an on again, off again thing that happened on occasion. I want to say maybe before me and you met, I'm not sure. It was around that time. And there was a gap there of a few months where we didn't even really talk to each other, not because we hated each other, just that's just how it was. And she came back, and there was a difference in experience there, because we get through the normal thing. We're in my room. I don't think anyone's at the house. Ideal Kyle situation. And things get going. And then she says, Kyle, I need to be punished. Kyle was young at the time. So he was like, no, you don't. And then we continued a little bit longer. And she's like, I think I really need to be punished. And again, I was like, no, this is exactly what I wanted. This is exactly what I had planned.
Yeah. I had a gold star over here.
Yeah, you're doing great.
This happened multiple times throughout the entire situation. And I didn't even realize it till months afterwards. We didn't hook up since then in life.
So what you're saying here is, baby, I got you now. I understand.
I understand that. Yeah, if you want
to wink at the camera,
if we want to continue this, I now understand. Back then, I thought you were trying to say you did something bad, of which I disagreed.
He was trying to reaffirm your character.
Yeah, no, you're doing great. This is all great. This is exactly how I planned my time, so I'm not sure.
We could have had a good category like greatest like misunderstandings because you didn't know what
the
fuck.
For sure.
I was in 8th grade and I had just moved from Sleepy Hill to Lake Gibson, and I had during that summer break, my mom had kind of taken me aside and she's like, Cameron, we've got to stop at the South Pole, and you've got to move away from the Rockall there, and we've got to move on to a new like style. She's like not forcefully or anything. She's like, hey, what if you wore these other clothes? So by the time I made it in 8th grade, I was looking pretty fresh. I did deserve best dressed. I did deserve it.
Yeah.
I was looking good for an 8th grader. But that did come with it certain other things that you'd have to handle that I was not familiar with from 6th and 7th grade, which was attention from girls.
Oh, yeah.
So it was probably like the 2nd or 3rd week, and a girl came up to me, and having no fucking experience, none whatsoever. Like didn't know it. A titty from a nut. Like I had no idea. Like I had no idea.
You were pretty far behind.
Yeah, I had no clue what.
You needed me in middle school.
I didn't even know where the map was, the lay of the land.
Just like, hey kid, you know titty?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
I'll show you titty.
And a girl came in. She's like, hey. She pulled me to the side. She was a pretty attractive girl. She said, hey. So how far have you been with a girl? And I was like, it's like 2 years.
Fuck, that's good. That's a hilarious joke nowadays.
2 years.
That's such a good joke. God damn it.
Yeah. And in retrospect, I kicked myself for a very long time and just wondered.
Did she just walk away?
And just like,
oh, super. I guess there's one other story that doesn't touch my first story.
Yeah, that's
at
a
all.
tough one.
I'm not even trying to top it or whatever. But there was this. You remember the stop when you feel uncomfortable game?
Yeah. Nervous game.
Yeah, or like force field or whatever, that type of stuff.
Yeah. So I don't remember the kids' names that were partaking. I wouldn't out them if I did. But there's this girl on
Your friend.
Yeah, your friend.
No.
Your pen pal from Africa.
Just to be clear, this didn't happen to me. I would be cool if this happened to me, really. Like, because this was like very early, like just of age to start doing anything, I would say. These two kids were playing the nervous game, and like they're like across the aisle in the bus, so everybody's watching them play this, and the guy's playing Cool Hand Luke. He's like, I'm not nervous.
Yeah.
I'm not nervous. And she's just like grabbing his dick. And he's like, I'm not nervous. But he comes. Yeah. And he like kind of covers it up. And all the kids are laughing. He's like, I don't understand what the big deal is. I'll just change my underpants when I get home. It's like, good for you, man.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. got a free, I guess, handy, because it was just like a not nervous, still not nervous, but I did come.
It sucks that travels with him, but other than that, like, night well done, man.
Yeah,
well,
hell yeah.
Not bad for a bus ride home.
Oh hell yeah.
We talking 8th grade? We talking?
No, I think this was like 6.
Fuck yeah.
6th
What a rock
grade,
star.
Out here busting nuts.
Yeah, on the bus.
See, that's the thing about like middle schoolers. Like, I think secretly we're all like, "Fuck yeah," but like, you come in your pants, like. Whereas we're old enough to go like, "Oh yeah, man, you got your nut in. High five. You're a man now."
Yeah, if I could go back in time, I'd give him a fist bump.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, I played that very coolly.
Yeah, you hunt with men now. Like,
Yeah. He comes to school with a goatee the next day. Like, yeah.
Just grew.
Got a 9 to 5. I've been putting in working down at the steel mill.
Just a massive bush tail.
Yeah. The old lady's been nagging on me.
Yeah.
Christ.
That's not a bad one either, but yeah, not.
It's real tough to be trapped. A vomiting girl. That's about as bad as it gets. I can't think of anything worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, nowhere
You
near.
guys want to do another round or maybe one last one? We're at about an hour in for our second.
Okay. We might have to cut that whole part about me talking about
Your friend?
stank vaginas. So we may need to cut that bit. Okay.
Oh,
Bye. Chill, man.
this This
is a real thinker because whoever wrote it can't write well.
Let me see.
If you could choose,
okay,
what would die doing?
Wait, let me see this.
I'm not kidding. So,
if you could choose, what and how would you
die doing?
Okay, maybe how do you die if you could choose?
If you could choose, what would you do while you were dying? Like, how would you go out? What would you do?
I think that's how would you go out? I think that's what it's trying to do.
They're just missing the "you" there.
There's a couple words.
Yeah, maybe buy them.
Positioning as well.
How would you / what would die doing? Yeah.
Maybe at the library buying them a book because they need it. Like,
one of the 5 people who are currently sitting at the table.
I'm just gonna out myself as definitely me.
What was the intention?
The guy who might write sitcoms.
Yeah.
No,
SNL.
No, like all right. So it's the question was, if you could, how would you / what would you die doing? So what would you choose essentially?
Okay. Could you give us a quick example or just rapid fire?
Did you have anything?
No, I didn't have anything. It was like if you could, like, I don't know, probably. I think the most obvious answer would be like around your loved ones or something.
Yeah,
okay. All right.
That's the first thing that comes to me. Like, fuck it. Probably how most people die anyway. Like,
I think I could probably go in like some sort of cool stunt. Or
shoot me into the sun or something.
Yeah, like as a final act, maybe just shoot me off into space. Like, I think that'd be pretty dope.
If I've already had my my family, we've said our dearest goodbyes. You know, everyone knows, like, all right, Cameron's on the outs.
Yeah.
Like, what would I do? You know, the Grim Reaper's not there with his dick out.
Yeah.
Saying 12 more weeks. Like, it's not happening. Like,
that'd be a great television
I'm
show.
gonna go out and I have, the next 5 to 30 seconds to 5 minutes to pull something off. I don't know. Maybe there's got to be something to be done.
Maybe skydiving without a parachute would be kind of cool.
That wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, just like knowing like you're in free fall. It's like.
I guess I feel like that last half second is gonna be terrifying.
I think
as it comes to like, oh shit.
That's probably
all
true,
done.
But I would probably do something that would like perhaps scar other people for life. It would leave a lasting impression, or it would be funny as shit. Like, it was only a joke that could be performed from your deathbed.
Maybe on television something. I don't know. Like, I'm on top of the big ball and I drop instead. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe,
that'd be enough to like really paint the picture differently to bring in the new year.
That's kind of where I was at too.
And the ball doesn't stop, so just.
I do the next David Blaine. Like, no, I can hold my breath for 25 minutes, and so the camera's on me, just to watch me drown.
And I'm gonna look like I'm drowned. This is just a technique I do. So they're just filming a dead body.
Bob to the top.
Now this is what he said he'd do. Bloating's part of it.
Yeah. It would probably be some you're already going. Like, there's no saving it. You're gonna die in the next 5 minutes. Like, I would probably try and fuck with fuck with people. That's how it would happen. I've already.
If it's fuck with people, I think ball drop. I got it.
Ball drop would be brilliant.
Yeah.
That'd be a pristine moment to go for.
So are you being like crushed by the ball? Like,
no, you're falling into the crowd at Times Square.
Like, I see like them zooming in on the ball. They're like, oh god, there's someone on top, and then there's only like 10 seconds. You can't recover before the new year.
So. Yeah, like everyone's fucking shook. You done really New Year.
Just a lot of millions of people. That's awful.
I thought people would still make out.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. Yes. That's my pick. Jumping off the big ball.
That's good.
What you got, Alex?
Yeah, it's on you now.
Shit. Mine was already kind of. I think something kind of cool, just an experience that you can get would be real dope. Like, I think space would be pretty dope. Like, if
tying his face.
Yeah, just like.
Only one.
I didn't even think about it from a traumatizing people perspective.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
It's not bad.
Family, please don't watch the ball drop. Like, I'm leaving now. I must go. No, the most traumatizing way I could think would be what is that? Fucking. We just saw Peter Rabbit the other day, and I've never seen something more disturbing in my fucking life.
Really?
I've never. I was like breathtaking. You know,
like it's just the animation or the like
the anime. Yeah,
okay.
it was breathtaking. So, you're Peter Rabbit. You know, they're what's the farmer's name? The McDonald's or whatever it is.
Whatever
McGregor's.
The McGregor's.
Yeah.
So they've already painted.
Stuck with me.
They've already painted the McGregor's to be kind of a bad guy, and they're like, they say something along the lines of, I'm gonna hit you over the head with this rake and put you in a pie. And you're like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And then they do a little, a few minutes earlier in the movie, or a few minutes later in the movie, they're like, yeah, McGregor killed Dad. Like, okay, that's kind of weird. A little dark for a kid's movie. And then they cut to this, they're remembering their parents.
I think they're looking at a painting, right?
They're looking at a painting like, what would Mom and Dad do if they were still around? And then it like quick cuts, and like Dad was, there's this garden that they're trying to get into where they can go steal McGregor's like
vegetables,
carrots. So it cuts back to this painting, and the painting kind of comes to life, and they're going around doing their thing, they're hopping around, they're getting carrots, and the next thing you know, the dad goes over and he's like, I gotta run over and grab a squash real quick, and he like squirts underneath the fence, and then the animated McGregor hits him over there, like you don't see it happen.
Okay.
And then it cuts to McGregor eating a pie.
It is pretty dark for a kid's thing.
It was pretty fucking dark the way it was portrayed. Like it fucking shook me. I was looking at Alex, like laughing out loud. Like, did they really just show that?
Yeah. So now I'm thinking maybe
that's the most traumatizing way I think I could go. Watch my family could watch me get eaten by a fucking McGregor in a pie.
Yeah, so you're dead, so you don't really get to appreciate your death. But someone else.
That's definitely much deeper. Like for me, I'm looking at scale. You're looking at like damaging people,
permanent,
creating copycats or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the ball drop would be ruined.
Yeah.
It could be done.
Yeah, they couldn't drop the ball again.
Years,
they couldn't drop the ball again.
Especially if there's copycats. It's just a thing people won't stop jumping off ever since that one guy.
Yeah. I wonder what Al Rucker would say. Right
oh God.
It's like, wow, I guess someone security really dropped the ball. Yeah.
Whoever does that, ratings soar after that. Or the fire.
Like, newscaster saves ball drop with a hilarious joke.
Yeah. Just to have that on footage. Just, ha 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 ha. Enemy splattered.
Oh, the acquaintance. Yeah. Fuck it. Your answer's so good. I don't think we need another one.
Maybe if I could somehow take over the PA system too. The bodies at the
right as one hits.
Yeah.
Maybe this would be pretty good if I could die like at concert surfing, so people are just bouncing around my dead body.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty fun.
That would definitely work. Especially for the one guy who misses and it just click.
Yeah, and that guy has to wonder, did I kill that man?
Yeah.
did the hit on the head? Yeah, fatal blow.
Yeah, well then you also there was this like another attack, like you could die balls deep in like on camera, like the President Trump, like fucking President Trump in the ass, and then all of a sudden, he's got to live with that for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
So like you've died, like there's no humiliation there, and you done fucked Trump.
Is this the Black Mirror episode?
Yeah, he kind of can't come back from it. But you're dead, so who cares?
It's not bad, I guess. I don't know.
Something about it.
That's a real thinker, sorry.
I mean, you can wait till next week, see how you feel about it. Just let it kind of rest for a bit.
Yeah.
I think I would definitely do the David Blaine.
David Blaine's good.
Yeah, David Blaine. Just like no, this is definitely what he was gonna do.
Especially after they do the background research, like, yeah, you idiots.
Yeah, you guys should get a lot more dark.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But I think that's it for this week, right?
Yeah.
That was a good, strong ending. All right, everyone. That was Game Bangerz episode 6. Are we at 6?
Yeah, we're getting up there.
Yeah, getting up there. Pushing the end of the single digits. We're really showing.
Yeah.
We're filled with grit, as you can tell.
And we are toying around with other video content. So I think
to bring them into the podcast.
Oh hell yeah, Barry, get involved.
So out of 6 episodes, all of us have been present for 2?
Yeah? No.
3.
I think way more than that. I think.
Are we counting Jake?
Oh, if you count Jake, that's different. Yeah. I want to say like 3 or 4
Jake's
or something like that.
Jake's in.
But anyway, we'll return next week. Maybe with all of us. Maybe with 3 of us. We will find out. We don't know.
Yeah, send us your emails. Let us know who you want to see.
But yeah. See ya.
Later.
That hat stuff's real good.